Howdy, howdy, everybody. Howdy. Testing audio. Okay, audio seems to be working just fine. Excellent. I must have woken up with like, must have slept funny or something because got that like lower back pain or something. Not quite lower back, it's like upper glute or something, just like a soreness. Very unpleasant. No, it's not my neck. Not today. Although my neck is a little stiff, but that's just called, I think that's just part of being older. You have a heating pad to sit on. I don't really like heating pads. Don't love them. Ah, we have our first guest, I guess. All right. Didn't we speak to this person last time? Cyanide Anthrax? I thought we did, but let's bring him on. I don't really remember. Oh, never mind. They dropped out of the queue. Howdy, howdy. All right, we'll give it a few minutes, let people stroll in. We did just start. Oh, they're back. See if they actually want to come up and talk about the shape of the Earth. Cyanide Anthrax.
The flat earthers are distracting us from the Epstein files, and they are brainwashing us.
Flat Earthers have existed for longer than the Epstein files have, my guy. I need to have some sort of like, not a block list per se, but like a persona non grata kind of person. Muso, I don't think that you're a flat earther, are you? Are you a flat earther, Muso? Are you a flat earther?
Yes.
Really?
I think like why?
Didn't we talk about whether God exists fairly recently?
Yeah. Bro, how are you I heard you got cancer, bro. Did you get it scanned?
I'd rather not talk about it with a stranger, but thanks for being here. Yeah. Oh no, he is a flat earther. I spoke with him on February 26th. Did I speak with him any sooner? No, okay. I spoke with him on February 26th. Or, sorry, February 16th. So, yeah, he is a flat earther. But, you know, we spoke 2 weeks ago. It's not really worth speaking again on the same topic. I guess what I do have is I do have a list of videos that I've made and that I've posted. And so especially if somebody is notable, that they end up getting a video made about them, which, you know, happens pretty frequently in the flat earth community, I can look at my list of videos that I've made which have usernames on. Yeah, so the last time I had him on, well, the video was 1.46 gigabytes, which means that the video was, I don't actually know how long it is. Oh, it was 22 minutes, so it wasn't that long. All right, let's talk to Black Star. I don't recognize that name. Black Star, how's it going?
Yeah.
Black Star, what shape do you think the Earth is? Black Star?
Yes.
What shape do you think the Earth is?
I don't think the Earth is a shape.
You don't think the Earth is a shape? Okay. Do you think, so you don't think the Earth is a globe?
No.
Okay, why did you join?
Are you saying like you're opposing that?
What? Do you want to talk about the shape of the Earth or not?
Sure. I was just asking because like obviously I don't know where you're going with this one, but
All right, I'm gonna let you go. Like, what? All right, let's talk to Big Al. Big Al. Big Al, how's it going?
Good, how are you, brother?
Doing okay. Big Al, what shape do you think the Earth is?
So the thing is, the reason I joined this live, I'm sorry if I'm not answering your question. I
Can
just
you
want
answer
to
my
know
question
why.
first
Sure.
before you
I
go into the
suppose
other details?
so okay, I'm under the opinion that I think it could be, round as NASA says it is, but also I'm open to the idea that it is flat. And what I wanted to ask you specifically is why do you think it is round? Like what, like
I
can you
mean,
prove it
look,
that it is round?
yes, depending on what you consider proof. Like, normal people will be like, we have photos and videos and testimony and scientific evidence, and that will all say that it's round. So, like, obviously that's like compelling evidence that it is round. In fact, generally, like in court, we would take things like photographs and video as, proof that a thing happened. But, so simply put, like, we have those that show a globe Earth. But like, if you don't trust any of that stuff, there's plenty of other ways to show that the Earth must be spherical. For example, you can look at things like sunsets. You can look at things like the way the seasons behave in the Arctic and the Antarctic. You can look at the lengths of shadows. You can look at the illumination of clouds. You can look at flight trajectories, like on airplanes. You can look at geodetic surveying projects. You can look at more complicated things, like we can prove that gravity is real. There's a whole bunch of stuff that you can do. It just depends on what.
Gravity would be real on a flat plane too, wouldn't it? I mean,
no, flat earthers don't think gravity is real.
Oh, okay. Well, that throws a wrench in that then.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't know that. No, the thing is like I'm not a NASA person. I don't really care what shape it is, but I just want to know why I should for 100% believe it's round. You know what I mean? Like, for example, is there any, like, let's say I was born yesterday. Is there a way that you can tell me without, going into specifics, like it's
I could just show you a
right?
video
Is there
of
a
the
way
planet.
You can convince me?
I could just show you a video of the planet.
Well, I mean, you could say it's CGI or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you could call any evidence fake if you wanted to. It just depends on how good faith you are.
That's my point. Is there any definite, like, real proof? Like,
look, I mean, that is real proof. If you're going, but look, anything that I tell you, you could just call it fake, right?
Right.
So like, that's not a there's no proof issue. That's a you are way too skeptical issue.
Well, you could also be too skeptical by saying the Earth's not flat, right? If I play devil's advocate, which again, I'm not on either side here. I'm just saying the same.
Well, no, I mean, I could
could
discuss the claims that are made by the flat earthers, and I could show them what experimental data is incongruent with what they're suggesting. So like, if they say that the Earth is flat because, it looks flat, I'd be like, well, it would look flat if you were an ant walking on a basketball, for example. Or if they say, oh, well, the Earth is flat because, we see too far, I'd be like, well, we know that light bends in air depending on how the density of the air changes. So you can sometimes see further if the atmospheric conditions are different. So I can address all of the claims that are made. Just calling them fake is not the claim.
Yeah, I understand. Okay.
Look, the easiest way to make sense of this, and this is how like people in the distant, 2,500 years ago made sense of it, is they basically, well, I mean, there's kind of a few ways. One is you can just look at how, like, if you look at where the North Star is, you can just figure out how high it is above the sky, and that will tell you about how far away from the North Pole you are. And if the Earth was flat and you were moving along a straight path, the geometry would suggest that the angle shouldn't depend, or that the angle should change non-linearly with the distance. So if you double the distance, that doesn't mean that the angle decreases by half.
That makes sense. Yeah.
But on a globe, that's actually what does happen. If you double the distance, then your angle will decrease by half. And so, like, there are things that you can just look at in the sky and observe and deduce that the Earth cannot be flat and must be spherical.
Okay, so let's say it is spherical, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what is the purpose of this debate? Is it to convince people that believe it's flat to believe
Yeah.
that it is round?
Yeah.
And then what purpose does that serve if you did
I like when
succeed in
people
that?
aren't scientifically illiterate.
Okay,
I'm
fair enough.
fond of scientific literacy. But look,
Okay.
Big Al, I'm gonna let you go.
Yeah.
But I do appreciate the questions. Thanks for being here. Okay.
Absolutely, man. Take care.
Take care. All right, let's talk to Homie Roach. Homie, how's it going?
Going pretty good, pretty good.
Glad to hear it. Homie Roach, what shape do you think the Earth is? Oh, there you are.
So, I don't necessarily think it's round, but I don't think it's flat either. Hold on.
So then what is it? Is it dinosaur shaped?
What is what?
The Earth.
Oh, my bad, son. Yeah, so I think, right, if you look at all the textbooks that were written in other countries, they all say, I don't read, bro, but you seem very smart, bro. And
Why'd you come up?
to change the subject a little bit, can we talk about something besides flat Earth?
Nope, not today. It's like 9:15 in the morning. What is he doing that inebriated? Or that intoxicated? Like, what is he doing? Secret, how's it going?
Hello?
Secret, how are you?
Grand. Can you hear me?
I can. Secret, how old are you?
12. I have a good idea though, I promise.
Look, I've spoken with, like, I have a friend who I've watched, I have a friend whose child I've watched grow up, right? I knew him when he was 6 years old, and now he's like turning 17 or something. Rarely do 12-year-olds have good ideas. It happens occasionally, but rarely do 12-year-olds have good ideas. All right, let's talk to Utba.
Yo, what's up,
Utba, how's it going?
How you doing, bro? What's up, man?
Utba, what shape do you think the Earth is?
Obviously round.
Okay, thanks for being here. All right, let's talk to Lucian. Lucian, how's it going?
Good.
Lucian, what shape do you think the Earth is?
A donut.
Okay. Lucian, thanks for being here. Talk to Rish. We're just getting only the trolls today. Rish, how's it going?
I'm doing all right. How are you, man?
I'm doing
I
okay.
actually been like watching your content quite a bit, and I pretty much agree with your stances on like atheism and stuff like that. And I'm very much an anti-theist, just like you.
I mean, I wouldn't call myself that, but fine. Rish, what shape do you think the Earth is?
I actually think it's a sphere as well. However,
Thanks for being here.
the reason I came on was
Think it flat Earth is dead. Think it's not, join the live. Reading is hard for some people, I guess. Talk to Apple user. Apple user, how's it going?
Oh, what's up?
Apple user, what shape do you think the Earth is?
Oh yeah, it's flat.
Why do you think so?
I don't know, but the constellations seem pretty like they prove a flat Earth, because if we're on a ball traveling through Earth and the constellations stay the same for so long, I don't know, it just seems kind of weird. Can you explain the constellations for me?
Yeah, I mean, so the constellations do change over time, but they change slowly. So
Yeah.
like very, very slowly, much more slowly than a single human lifespan, right? So it's just not that surprising that they would change slowly if space is big, even if Earth was moving, right?
Mhm.
So I guess I'm just not sure what the question is.
Okay, I don't actually believe the Earth is flat, but I
Well,
just
get
wanted
up.
to
All right, get
question.
off here. Talk to Mysterious Stranger. Mysterious Stranger, how's it going?
Hello, how are you?
Mysterious Stranger, what shape do you think the Earth is?
I think it's flat.
All right, thanks for being here.
You was so rude.
Is this all the same guy?
You was so rude.
This is all the same guy. How many accounts do they have? Let's talk to Daniel. That's a funny. That's a funny name. I'm not gonna lie. Daniel Gay Lewis.
Hello?
Gay Lewis.
Oh, thanks.
Daniel,
Yeah,
how's it going?
good. How you doing?
I mean, yeah, it's funny. So, what shape do
Cool
you think
play.
the Earth is, Daniel?
I think it has to be flat.
Why do you think so?
Well, because of gravity, right? If it was cylindric, wouldn't we just top over?
If it was what?
A cylinder shape, circular.
Well, but it's not cylinder shaped. It's global.
Oh, okay, what is it?
The globe?
So what shape's a globe?
A sphere?
Sphere. So okay, sphere. So wouldn't we just topple over?
Why would we topple over?
Because there's a circle, right? You believe it's a circle, correct?
It's a sphere.
Sphere, right? Which is
Uh-huh.
Do you have I don't have a PhD. You do, right?
You know what a sphere is?
It's a circular object.
A sphere is like the shape of a basketball.
Right. 3D circle.
Sure.
Right? Well, layman's terms, right? I mean, how would you like to break it down?
You could just call it a globe.
Globe, right. So every part, if you take a small globe, right? Every part of a small globe, right? If you try to stand a pencil on it, for example, right? It would just fall over.
Sure.
Right? So why are we not just falling over 24/7? How is there so much
Because of gravity pulling us towards the middle, the center.
But the pencil's doing the same thing, right?
No, the pencil's being pulled down by the Earth's gravity, not by like this model globe's gravity.
Can you explain it in layman's terms? I'm sorry. You see what I'm thinking, right?
Wait, which word do you need me to explain?
The terms are easy, right? But try to explain how the gravity works compared to my flat thinking.
So
right, where I
gravity
see it
pulls you to the middle, right? And if you have a big planet like the Earth, it has a lot of gravity, so it pulls things down hard. A classroom globe,
left to right?
A classroom globe is small, so it doesn't have a lot of gravity, so it doesn't pull things to it. So a pencil on a classroom globe won't fall, or sorry, it won't stay stuck to the surface of the globe.
Right.
The pencil globe. Sorry, the classroom globe, it'll fall to the ground because that has bigger gravity.
And so on a larger scale, is it because we're getting pulled equally left to right, to forward to back, all angles?
You're being pulled toward the middle.
Just as much as my left shoulder to my right shoulder, or chest or back.
All of you is being pulled to the middle. The middle of the Earth.
Center of gravity, I suppose, works in there. Okay, well, I can't go any further than that. Thank you, doctor.
Thank you, Daniel. Let's talk to Happy Daddy. Happy Daddy, how's it going?
Hey, how's it going? Can you hear me?
I can. Happy, what shape do you think the Earth is?
Well, I don't like that question because I think it's encapsulating, but I will argue the point that
what does that mean? Wait, hold on. What does that mean?
It limits perspectives. But I will argue that I do think the Earth is flatter or flat.
Okay, but you say you'll argue that. Do you believe it?
I do.
Okay. Okay, why do you think so?
Well, there's a lot of evidence. there's a lot of evidence. And I think my biggest thing that I would lean on is the fact that there's lots of pilots who will argue the fact that when they fly, they never compensate for curvature, right? And I know that's an outdated argument that a lot of people feel that they can argue, but the biggest thing that really sticks it to me is the fact that, for one, pilots don't have to compensate for curvature, as well as engineers. In the entire engineering field, when working on large projects like bridges that extend over, they are literally told to ignore curvature.
Oh, that's not true though.
Yes, it is.
I mean, it's not true in either sense. So pilots use something called an artificial horizon to figure out what angle they're at relative to the ground, right? And that's the thing that they keep. So they basically try to keep their nose something like 2 to 3 degrees above the artificial horizon. It's like this little device that has a brown in the bottom half and blue in the top half. You're familiar with this?
I'm absolutely familiar with it, yeah.
Yeah, so artificial horizons use a gyroscope. And gyroscopes tend to drift as you move along the surface of the Earth. And so, especially in old artificial horizons, mechanical ones, they use devices called pendulous vanes to keep themselves aligned with the downward force of gravity. So they absolutely do account for the curvature of the Earth, as so long as they are following the artificial horizon and keeping their nose elevated at, a few degrees above the artificial horizon, they will automatically follow the curvature of the Earth. They will tilt their nose to account for it as they do so. Keep in mind, though, the shape of an airplane. The shape of an airplane will basically do it on its own because they're designed to do it on its own. They're designed to do it on its own. And with regards to like engineers, there's a very famous case of the London Tube. So this was being built in the 1800s, right? When they were digging tunnels for the London Tube from 2 different ends, and the goal was to meet in the middle just to save on time. And initially, in the original blueprints, they didn't account for the shape of the Earth, for the curvature, and they missed. And then when they went back and redid the calculations and they had to redig the tunnels, then they were able to meet after accounting for the curvature of the Earth. So, I mean, it's just not the case that engineers don't have to account for this.
That's interesting. Okay, so I'll take these points into consideration. Mostly I'm just curious about your perspective and your argument points. But one last point I would like to bring up is that why is there tons of pilots? And I'll give it to you that you say that they don't, I guess you're saying that because they follow that, what is it? The Terminator line is what
artificial
you're
horizon,
to, right? No, you call it the artificial horizon?
That's what the device is called. It's called an artificial horizon.
The devices. So they use the artificial horizon to follow the Terminator line, which is fine. You could say that they're automatically compensating for the curvature of the Earth, maybe without recognizing it or realizing it, as I'm assuming is what your argument is. But explain this to me then. Then why do all these pilots say that when they fly north and south, for one, they say that they don't compensate for the curvature of the Earth? You're saying that's the reason is because they follow the Terminator line. But when they fly north and south, they also don't have to compensate for the drift to east and west, right? So when they're flying north and south, they fly a straight line. But when they fly east and west, they have to compensate for constantly. If they're flying west, they have to constantly compensate for constantly adjusting the plane to the right if they're flying west. And they have
you mean if they're flying north?
No, west.
Flying west wouldn't do that.
That's what these pilots were saying. That's what I'm saying.
When they fly saying west, that they have to
constantly
so look, I mean,
to the right.
So they are
to the east, to the north. And when they fly east, they have to constantly adjust to the north. So if the more they fly east and the more they fly west.
It's actually funny you say that. That's actually exactly a prediction of the globe. So if you want to maintain and I can just show you this on a model if you'd like. I'll just show you on Google Earth. If you want to maintain a due east or due west trajectory when you are not at the equator, you actually have to make constant adjustments because flying straight on a globe does not mean following a constant latitude. And I can show you exactly what I mean by that. One moment. Let me open up my browser. Let me make this full screen so that it doesn't dock. Oh, no, it's still my dock. Oh, no, it's fine. Okay, so let me put this up here. Oops. Here we go. Okay, can you see this is Google Earth, right?
Yep.
So let's say that you were in New York and you wanted to fly west. Let's say you wanted to fly, well, let's just say that you're flying whatever due west is. Like to, I don't know, Japan. Something like this.
You really think a straight flight would go that far?
You can fly from New York to Japan direct. There's a flight that does it. It's called American Airlines 167. Anyway, so you fly from New York to Japan. Now, a straight line trajectory from New York to Japan on a globe actually takes you pretty far north, and then you loop around. You basically swing up over the north bit, and then you come back down. That's a straight line, and you can see why it's a straight line because, you know, looking at it from this angle, it's definitely straight, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if you were to zoom in, it definitely looks like you're flying north. Now, the other thing is that if you wanted to fly, actually due west the whole time, you have to do something different, right? You would want to be flying something like this path, right? Something like that. I don't know, that's roughly due west. And so we can actually see, is there any straight line trajectory that actually, is there any location that would take you along a path that looks like that on a globe, right? And so let's just try to, I don't know, let's just put a location, because clearly to fly due west to Japan, you have to swing up north. So maybe there's somewhere south that will take you going in that direction. So flying to Hawaii, you still have to go a little bit north, but that's pretty close. We can try something else. We'll try something a little bit further south than Hawaii. And I promise I'm getting to a point here. Let's say you're flying to Papua New Guinea, let's say. Still really hard to make it go due west, huh? Let's try something further south even. Maybe Samoa. Too far. I'm just doing trial and error. I gotta find something that looks like it's going due west initially. So, okay, I'm just gonna put some place in the middle of the ocean, right? Okay, that looks like it's flying due west initially, right?
Okay.
It's at least close enough. It's a little bit north, but close enough. The point is as you keep trying to fly in a straight line, keep in mind, this is a straight line trajectory, you're just going. You end up swinging south. And so if you want to fly due west following a constant line of latitude, you actually have to keep adjusting north so that you don't end up going south. That's a prediction of the globe, and it's because straight lines on a globe are things called great circles. So I can draw you an example of a great circle, or at least half a great circle, and you'll see what I mean. So I need to find whatever the opposite of New York is. So New York's opposite is going to, nope, I don't want to swing around that way.
Okay,
Like,
I think I'm catching on to what you're saying.
okay, so if you're catching it, yeah, if you're catching on to what I'm saying,
the only
then
point
it's
I
not,
really do want
it's
to
fine.
highlight is that I think that the difference is that I think you're focusing on straight lines, and I was focusing on west, because what they were talking about was going west and east.
Right.
They weren't,
And so what I'm saying is that if you want to go due west, due west, then you will constantly have to adjust north to prevent yourself from swinging south like you would if you were going in a straight line.
I feel like we're not.
Like you have to turn right if you're going west. You have to you have to keep your wheel turned slightly right. Otherwise, you will end up going south on accident.
Right. And then if they're going east, they would have to keep going left.
Yep.
Which is north. Right. So, and you're saying that's, I feel like I'm not following this because I feel like the you're focusing on the straight line thing and I'm focusing on
things go in a straight, look, so a plane would fly in a straight line, right? If you just kind of like, I mean, obviously there's wind and stuff, but if you were just, assuming that there's no wind and all of that stuff is negligible, if you just took your hands off of the controls and you just like, you know, your controls were straight up and down so that they're not tilted or whatever, you just took your hands off the controls, in principle, the plane would fly just straight, right?
Yeah, you would think
it would fly along a straight line.
Yeah, too many things like wind and everything else.
Well, yeah. If like, I mean, one like discounting wind and stuff. But my point is that if you were to try to fly straight and you were on a globe, if you were initially going west, you would end up curving down south. If you were initially going east, you would end up, assuming that you're in the northern hemisphere, of course. If you were initially going east, you would end up curving down south. And so if you want to move due west the entire time, you would have to tilt your little controls the right if you're going west, or to the left if you're going east.
I mean, I see what you're saying, but I don't know if it's convincing enough for me to say that, you know, all the arguments for the Earth having flat structure is completely blown away just by that one argument. But
I mean, you didn't actually ask, so how do these imply that the Earth is flat? Because it sounds like what you're giving is you're offering like some sort of, it sounds like you're trying to offer a critique of the Earth being a globe, but it doesn't sound like what you're doing is you're offering evidence that the Earth is flat.
Well, okay, you're right, and I should probably clarify. So I feel like that since with the evidence of the Earth being flat, I'm not entirely convinced that it is completely flat. I do not believe it's completely what we think it is. I think it's very possible that what we think of the Earth as being flat is just the Earth being much bigger than we were previously told. I think that's what it is. I think that maybe the Earth is a much larger planet. That's why it's a lot flatter than people think. And maybe there is a lot more landmass that's beyond Antarctica.
So you think that the Earth, and just to clarify, just so I can get your worldview, you think that the Earth is a much larger planet? Do you think that the sun is still like, do you think that like space is still real?
I don't know. I'm still up to, that's why I'm talking to you. That's why my mind is open at this point on this. But as of right now, I would say I'm 80% that it's flat, but I'm still trying to be open-minded about it. And I would like to hear other people's arguments and perspectives.
I mean, so the shape of the Earth, like once you're on board with the Earth being a sphere, the shape of the Earth is actually, or the size of the Earth rather, is really easy to figure out.
I can't. Okay, so this is where I need to step in and say that, but science doesn't say the Earth is a sphere.
Well, it says it's spheroidal, right?
What shape do you think that the Earth is?
It's, I mean,
according to science,
there's technical language I can use. It is topologically spherical. What the language that's used to describe it is something called a geoid, which is like a lumpy sphere.
That is not true.
Yeah,
that is not
sure
true.
it is.
That is not the consensus. The consensus is that it is more pear-shaped.
That is a kind of lumpy sphere. Also, that's not the consensus. That's something that Neil deGrasse Tyson said. I can show you what the geoid is. Here, let me show you a picture. So here's the geoid. This is exaggerated by a factor of 1,000. So like the vertical deviations are exaggerated by a factor of 1,000 here, but this is it. It's not like, it doesn't have, this isn't a shape that has like a name that you learn in geometry. So they call it a geoid, which is the shape of the equipotential of the Earth. Hence the name geo, it has the word geo in it. But yeah, I mean, it's topologically spherical.
So you're, okay, just to clarify.
Yeah,
so
go ahead.
Now you're saying right now that the picture, you could keep that picture up. I think it'll be helpful for the conversation, if you don't mind.
Open it again.
And you said that's a geoid, right?
Called a geoid.
Geoid. So you're saying that if we were in space, this is what we would see.
No,
correct?
This is exaggerated by a factor of 1,000.
Exaggerated by
if you were in space, you would not be able to tell that it wasn't a perfect sphere. That's how close to a perfect sphere it is.
That's so interesting. So how is this picture relevant then with the fact that it's exaggerated by the shape of it? Okay. See, these are the arguments.
Well, because you wanted to be like pedantic, and you want to be like, oh, well, it's not actually, like, the scientific consensus isn't that it's a perfect sphere. You're right, it's not a perfect sphere. It's this thing. and where this is a visualization that's exaggerated by a factor of 1,000. But if you were to just be in space and look at it, you would not be able to tell that it's not a perfect sphere. But, you know, of course, our eyes aren't perfect, so like we couldn't see like the tiny deviations and stuff like that.
Now, I feel like this is circular logic at this point. Like, I feel like you're showing me a picture and you're like, look, this is the justification for why the Earth is lumpy in it. Oh, but it's also
I wasn't saying this is the justification. I didn't say this is the justification.
It's still kind of a perfect sphere, despite the fact that to prove my arguments against the Earth being flat, I have to talk about how it is completely this spheroidal shape and it is not a sphere. I mean,
look,
okay,
you wanted like the
you
wanted the technical language. You asked for what the scientific consensus was, so I gave you the technical scientific consensus. If you want like what the scientific explanation is to the lay audience, they'd say it's nearly a perfect sphere, but it's a little bit lumpy at like the scale of like sub% levels.
So
like
basically,
there's nothing circular here. I'm just explaining to you what the scientific view is.
Right. And I'm explaining. I'm just highlighting my frustrations with, you know, how these arguments will be used to both, you know, debunk questions about flat Earth. Will say something like, "This doesn't add up. That's because the Earth isn't round at all. It's very different shape." But then you're like, "Oh,
who says that?"
I mean, didn't you literally just say that?
No.
How did that? Okay, so then why are we talking about this?
Because you said, oh, well, the scientific consensus is not that the Earth is a sphere, but that it's pear-shaped. And so I was correcting you. The scientific consensus is that it's something called a geoid, which is a very, very slight deviation from a perfect sphere.
So then you're not defending that the round Earth is drastically misshapen. You're not defending that sample.
No, the shape, the sphere, the Earth being a perfect sphere is so close to correct. It's like less than 1% mistaken.
Okay, that's great. That's great. I'm not used to people saying that, but that's great. So, well, that makes a lot more sense to me, because the biggest question I had about this whole spheroidal pear-shaped thing that people are always talking about with the Earth is it just didn't make sense to me. Like, why would a planet floating in space subjected to supposable gravity for so long be so misshapen when every observable planet in the universe is either perfectly spherical or close to it when we can observe it from Earth? How is it that everything outside of Earth?
I don't know who you're talking to, but I talk to a lot of people. Like I'm embedded deep in the, you know, globe versus flat Earth like conversation, and I've never heard a globe earther say, "Oh well, it's not a perfect sphere, it's a pear, therefore you're like." I've never heard anybody make that argument. The only person I've ever even heard say that the Earth is pear-shaped is Neil deGrasse Tyson, and he said that because sometimes he says things that are dumb.
He does a lot. He's kind of an idiot.
So like it just sounds like you're arguing against the straw man here. I don't know what we're doing.
No, what we're doing is you call people up, and I'm trying to ask questions about why you think the Earth is actually
why do you
round.
think the Earth is flat? Like I can give you like loads of pieces of evidence for like the Earth being a sphere, and surely like I'm sure that many of them would be called fake, like, you know, photos and videos and testimony and experiments, etc., etc. But why do you think that the Earth is actually flat? Why are you at 80%? What's the evidence for the Earth being flat rather than I'm not asking for evidence against the Earth being a globe. I'm asking for the evidence that the Earth is flat.
Well, that was really it, the pilots. That was the thing I was highlighting in the beginning.
But that's not even evidence that the Earth is flat. It's evidence, if you trust it, if you take it at face value, it is evidence that the Earth might not be a globe, right? But it's not evidence that the Earth is flat.
Might not be a globe.
That's the claim anyway. Like I don't think that it's actually valid evidence at all, because like, you know, the explanation I gave. But at best, what you're saying is it can't be a globe because the pilots thing, right? It's flat because.
Right. Well, I mean, I didn't really have anything further other than that. Honestly, the only reason I tried to step up is because when I hit request, you were getting troll after troll after troll, and I figured I would just throw a question in there out of curiosity.
Well, I do appreciate you not being a troll.
I'm not some hard hell-bent flat earther trying to prove the case. I just wanted to ask questions because I'm curious.
So, and I do appreciate that. So what I would suggest, and look, I have like a whole document of like pieces of evidence and, you know, things like this, but don't worry about that. What I would suggest that you look into is have you heard of the final experiment?
Not sure. Describe it to me. I've seen tons of videos.
So the final experiment was something that was conducted at the end of 2024. There was basically it was a pastor, actually, an independently wealthy pastor, who was sick. He was like tired of his, I think he had like a friend or a family member who was a flat earther, and he was like tired of the argument. So he took his money and he basically brought 4 fairly famous, his name is Will Duffy, by the way, that's the name of the pastor.
Is this the Antarctica thing?
It's the Antarctica thing, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So you should look into that.
No, I did. I watched it. I didn't feel like it was convincing in any way, shape, or form. I apologize. I know you guys really like that.
I mean, what do you make of it, though? Like, do you just think that it was all faked, or?
I feel like it was. I feel like that it was not. I mean, can you go to Antarctica? Most people can't just go to Antarctica.
Yeah, you can. There's like a whole bunch of companies that you can book tours with.
Yeah, what mean like? Okay, well,
that's what they did.
I don't know what the prices are for something like that. So
it's not cheap. Like going to Antarctica is not cheap because it's far away from everything. You have to bring all of your food with you. You have to bring all of your poop back. It's not cheap, but you absolutely can do it.
Oh, wow. So if I just wanted to get into my own plane with all my own resources, I could just fly to Antarctica if I wanted to right now with no issues.
I mean, yeah, you could. If you want to land somewhere, you would probably have to talk to the owner of the landing strip that you were landing at, right? Because, of course, these are owned by people and places, or, you know, people and countries. But you could, in principle, you could just fly over. Yeah,
around Antarctica is that's all bullshit. It's not restricted airspace in any way.
No, it's not restricted. Now, what is the case is that it's not really that safe to fly over Antarctica because, again, there's not really a lot of places to land. So if like you lose an engine, it's not particularly safe to crash land there. So commercial airlines generally, with a few exceptions, commercial airlines generally don't fly over Antarctica, again, because it's not safe. And there's not really a good reason to fly over Antarctica otherwise. But yeah, there's not restricted airspace there.
Interesting, because it seems to have been pretty large consensus that
according to who?
It's been I mean, I remember this thing about all the governments kind of coming together around 40 something or whatever.
The 50s, you're talking about the Antarctic Treaty. What you'll find in the Antarctic Treaty is that there's nothing about airspace mentioned in it at all.
Interesting. So what about
it's actually really short. You can read it yourself.
Like one of the things that I feel like that made me really question the whole flat earth thing is
wait, just to be clear, so you think that the final experiment stuff was fake?
I did not say that. I just said it didn't convince me.
So like you're not convinced that it happened, or like you weren't or like even though you grant that the evidence, or even though you grant that it happened, you're not convinced that the evidence that they displayed showed that it's a globe, or like which was the unconvincing part?
I mean, I felt like most of it was just not very convincing. I mean, it's like,
do you think that they actually went to Antarctica, or?
I mean, you got me. I mean, from the video they said they did. I didn't have any.
I mean, like they recorded the entire flight, right? There was at least one person who was in the group that recorded the entire flight. They had like a compass on display, so you could see that they were flying south, and they did like a GPS location from where they were leaving from. Like it's pretty hard to fake all of that, right?
I mean,
especially because it was done by a private individual and not a governmental organization.
I mean, I'm not trying to argue against that. I mean, if you really
should look into it,
then it's great. I mean, I did watch it. I just felt like it wasn't convincing to me, but that's just me.
Which part? Which part was not, like you say, like it wasn't one thing. It was many things. So was it like you weren't convinced by the flight, or by the flight time lapse that showed them flying from Punta Arenas to Antarctica, or you weren't convinced by the 24-hour time lapse of the sun, or like you weren't convinced that the people who were flat earthers actually said that they were flat earthers, or who said that they were flat earthers actually were flat earthers, or like which part wasn't convincing?
I'm not trying to argue this point. I just stand unconvinced. I mean, I'm sorry if that bothers you.
Well,
and I'm not trying to argue with you on this.
It just sounds like you're saying I'm unconvinced without saying what you're unconvinced by. Like which thing you're skeptical of?
Okay, well, how about we'll put a pin note on that, and then if you want, I can say all the things, and you could try to debunk them if that's what your goal is. And you're more than welcome to do that. But I wanted to finish saying what I was trying to talk about. So we'll put a pin note on that. Go back to it. The other topic that I thought was the most convincing thing to me that didn't make any sense was the United Nations used to have a globe map. And then
what do you mean a globe map?
So it used to be, you look at their logo, right? Their logo is like a little thing of the Earth.
Yeah, it's an azimuthal or an equidistant azimuthal projection. Yeah.
It didn't used to be. It's a flat Earth map right now.
Well, yeah, all maps are flat.
It didn't used to be.
How do you have a two-dimensional logo of a globe?
Well, I know all I know is that the logo used to be different. It used to be
what did the logo used to be?
You can look it up. I can't just.
That's what we're gonna do.
Describing a picture. But before Andrew Bird had flown out to the Antarctica, they used to have a different logo that matched more closely to a globe Earth map. And then after Andrew Bird flew into Antarctica, and then the Antarctica Accord happened, they changed.
You mean Admiral Bird?
Admiral Bird.
I don't know if his name was.
I don't think it was Andrew Bird.
It was Richard.
I meant to say Admiral Bird, but
yeah. So you're talking about Operation High Jump, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
maybe
Operation High Jump was in 1946. The United Nations didn't adopt any logo until 1946, the end of 1946. So like, not even the case that there even was a logo before Admiral Byrd went on his expedition. So I don't know where you heard that they used to have a different logo. They used to have a different symbol. Like they didn't even have a symbol before Admiral Byrd's expedition.
Well, they did 10 years ago when I first looked into Flat Earth, though.
The very first logo, and I can show you one from 1955.
Well, hold on.
Was the same one as it is today.
Do you know about the Fruit of the Loom Mandela effect thing?
Yeah, sure.
I'm not arguing Mandela effects. Don't worry.
Okay, sure.
But Fruit of the Loom never had a cornucopia.
You're right.
According to the company, never had it.
Mm-hmm.
Do you believe? Have you heard about this whole thing?
I've heard about the whole thing. People tend to also not have particularly good memories of a lot of things.
Well, actually, Fruit of the Loom had to admit in court that they did have a cornucopia because it was a marketing strategy, is what they claimed, removing the cornucopia.
Really? Is that true?
Yes. There was
Of the Loom cornucopia court case. There is no official lawsuit regarding a cornucopia in the Fruit of the Loom logo. Rather, it's a famous example of the Mandela effect. I'm just reading the AI overview. I don't know if you want me to dig deeper, I can, but it's at least like I'm not seeing anything about.
Well,
okay, so I'm on something called fastcompany.com. The Great Fruit of the Loom logo mystery solved. Okay, so we can go to Snopes. Yeah, so from Snopes, the Fruit of the Loom logo has never contained a cornucopia, honestly. So
is that what Snopes says? You went to Snopes?
Yep. Yeah, that's what I mean.
Wow.
It's either that or you can have like the AI overview. It's up to you.
Okay. Well, I mean, honestly, if you're using Snopes to fact check stuff, then
okay. So where's the evidence of this? Where's the evidence of this court case?
Well, I assumed it was a court case because I remember.
There's no evidence of a court case?
I thought it was a court case because there was a
You just made it up?
There was an influencer. No, I was not trying to make anything up, but there was an influencer who did a large exposing of the cornucopia and showed that there was the cornucopia. It really did exist. And I could have swore that they said that there was a court case that was brought into the exposing the cornucopia. So maybe I was completely wrong. I don't know.
I can't find anything on a court case. And I'm not just like, I'm looking at Fast Company, which is like it's just like I guess it's a company regarding like, or it's an outlet that discusses like design and fashion and tech and stuff like that. And the AI overview doesn't mention anything. Snopes doesn't mention anything. I can go look at MIT Technology Review, and I can look for court case there, but I'm not seeing anything on this. So I think that this was just an influencer like making stuff up, which is usually worth checking. But anyway, this is, suffice it to say,
it's hard to have these debates and then you know, when I'm just jumping up and
well, no,
most
I mean,
of these arguments I'm obviously not prepared for because I'm just trying to bring up points of things I saw. I'm not some professional guy who argues.
Look, that's fine.
Flat Earth all the time, so I don't have my computer on the screen and I can't look up things like you can.
That's
and
fine.
I can't show all my evidence and then research it and use AI to present my argument like you are.
Look,
it's not that I'm intellectually
here's what I found.
lazy. It's
I'm
just
not,
that
I'm not calling you intellectually lazy.
Resources at the moment.
So look, apparently this was a sketch that it wasn't like officially adopted, but this was a sketch of like what they were working with in between 1945 and 1946. And then this is 1946 till now. It hasn't changed. So like, okay. I don't know where you heard the claim that that they used to have a different symbol, but.
Okay. Well, I'll take note of that. I'll take note of the arguments of the East and West, and I'm not really sure if there's much else. You wanted to go over the Antarctica thing and pick that apart, right?
I mean, like, yeah, just which part, like what did you actually watch about the final experiment?
I think I watched like a 45-minute thing.
Do you know who it was from?
No, it was something that just popped up one day, and I just kind of watched it while doing other things. And they were in Antarctica, and it was some video that said proved the Earth is round or something like that. They did it, and I remember watching it, and I was kind of like, you know, okay. I wasn't fully convinced, but I'm not convinced either way on anything. You know, I mean, I'm not convinced the Earth is round, and we've had this conversation. I'm not convinced the Earth is flat, and they had their conversations. So I'm just.
So there's a creator who, I think his name is Dave McKeegan. He's a fairly large creator on YouTube, and he was one of the people that went to the Flat Earth. And so, and he made, he put out his entire, like the entire, what are they called? Not even time lapses, just 24-hour recordings on YouTube in full. Although I think that he only managed to get, wait, where's part 3? I only see 21 hours here, but you know, you can also go find time lapses if you want. He was one of the people that went there, and he has a lot of videos on the topic. There's another person who went there. His name is Michael Toon. He goes by MC Toon. Both of these people are going to have bucket loads of data and video and you know, like compass readings and GPS readings and all of these things that you can use to track every single part of their journey and essentially verify yourself. And they, you know, they're during, like, while they were in Antarctica, they took photos of the sun and compared it to photos of the sun from, you know, the northern hemisphere to like check, like compare the sunspots. They obviously did time lapses of the sun. You can basically, I'll just show you a website here. Let me just show you MC Toon's website.
That popped in my head that I'm curious about too.
Yeah, sure. So MC Toon has a website. It's mctoon.net. He has a website that has like a whole bunch of information and a whole bunch of links to videos and like, you know, various synchronized things, so you can check to make sure that everything's above board. So he has like time lapse of the flight from South America to Union Glacier, and he has you know, the like time lapse of the 24. He has all of this stuff on his website in a pretty accessible format. So I would just check this out and see if you can follow the story.
What the screen for your computer is really small, and I know you said the link.
Oh yeah,
is there any way you can just zoom in on the link so I can...
How's that?
mctoon.net.tfe. Okay.
Yep. His name is Michael, and his last name is Toon. So he's, and I think his middle initial is something with a C. So, but yeah, so this is the place to go. And just like, if you actually want to know what's going on with this experiment, spend an afternoon. Like, pay attention to it, go through like you have like raw videos from, you know, various cameras, and you have a whole bunch of different other live videos. This was live streamed after all. There's a whole bunch of different experiments that were conducted. You know, there's obviously news reporting. There's like tickets that, like, you can see the tickets here. So just go there and take a look at what's there and see if you can make sense of it.
Yeah, I'll take a look at it, and I'll see if it'll sway my opinion. But there is 2 more things that I would like you to give me your perspective on.
Sure.
Well, I'll start with the big one first. What do you feel about the whole Project Fishbowl thing?
Which one's Project Fishbowl? Is that the Admiral Byrd? Oh, no. Project Fishbowl is the nuclear, high altitude nuclear detonations, right?
Correct.
Yeah, okay. I made a video about this a while ago. What's the question?
Well, just your perspective on it.
I guess it's Operation Fishbowl. Well, they were trying to see what happens to the world and to the atmosphere and to the nuclear detonations when they're detonated at high altitudes. And so they detonated them at high altitudes, and then they got information, and then that was the whole thing.
Okay.
I mean, what's the question? What's?
I just thought it was interesting that it's Admiral Byrd.
Admiral Byrd wasn't related to Operation Fishbowl.
Well, didn't Operation Fishbowl happen right after Admiral Byrd?
Operation Fishbowl was in this, I guess it began in 1962, and Admiral Byrd's was in 1946, I want to say, was his thing. So, like, it was after. I'm not sure if it, like, Operation High Jump was, I guess 15 or 16 years later, or sorry, 15 or 16 years earlier. So it's not like right after, no.
Oh, okay. All right. I just wanted your opinion on it. So your take on it is just that, yeah, it's just, okay. All right. So there's another argument that I always see where people point out, like, planes who have emergency landings.
Mm-hmm.
And this is another one that's always usually very convincing when you watch it. You have planes that are flying someplace, and then they have an emergency landing, and then they land immediately in a place that's supposed to be 8 hours away, but it's right underneath them. It's the
Can you give
closest
me an example of, like, this kind of thing? Do you know of any off the top of your head?
I wish I did. Like I said, I jumped up here.
I can tell you one. I can tell you one that's brought up.
I'm just curious.
I'll tell you one that's brought up pretty frequently, and I'll show you the relevant. I'll show you, the globe, right? So one that's brought up pretty frequently is Beijing to Los Angeles, right? They're flying from Beijing to Los Angeles. So you'd think if we go to something like, I don't know, Mercator projection, not shopping, images. Here we go. If you go to, like, a map like this, you would think that, you fly. Let me make this a little bit smaller. Oops. You would think that you would fly east from Beijing, which is somewhere around here. And then you would go around and you'd come back and you'd go to Los Angeles. And they're like, oh, why did they do an emergency stopover in Alaska, right? That's the claim that's often made, because an emergency stop was made in Alaska. So instead of using a flat map, why don't we actually go to the globe, right? Let's just draw a straight line from Beijing to Los Angeles. So let's check that it's a straight line. It is a straight line, right? It's I hope you can see that. It's a straight line. It's a straight line on a spherical shape. And now let's look. Okay, so you leave Beijing, you fly northeast, you go over what looks like Yakutsk. Oh, and you're passing right by Alaska. So the reason why there was an emergency stopover in Alaska is because the Earth is a sphere. So, I mean, like, and this will be the case for literally every example that you could give me.
Is Alaska the number one that they usually argue?
Yeah, they're like, why didn't they stop over in Hawaii? It's, like, right between them. But, like, because Alaska is closer.
Is there any other locations that the flat earthers will usually use to argue these points?
This is the only one I've ever heard that's actually brought up. People often say, oh, but what about the emergency landings? And then they can't bring up anything else besides this one. So, no, not really.
Interesting. I'm trying to think if there's any other points that have been presented with me. So, I would like to, seems like your chat really hates me. I'm trying to be okay with that.
Don't worry about the chat. They hate everybody.
Right. I mean, I really would like to say that, you guys may not like my perspective and, whatever. I'm not really putting perspective. I'm only here to answer or ask questions and get some curiosities answered. I wasn't prepared for this. It was an impromptu jump up.
That's fine.
So, I have no research in my lap on this either. But I will say, years ago, I used to host a conspiracy theory podcast. It was like 12 years ago, like before podcasts were even, actually longer than that. It was like 13 years ago, before podcasts were even popular. And one of the things that I always avoided was the flat Earth.
That's
because at that point in time, I laughed it off. I literally laughed it off. I thought it was the most ridiculous thing I'd ever heard.
That's good.
And then when you run a conspiracy theory podcast, you run out of material, and you need to have material if you want to keep doing your show. So I ended up having to look at the flat Earth, and back then, I was blown away at how convincing the evidence was. It was insanely convincing. Now, this was like 10, 12 years ago. I haven't really looked into it a lot since then, which is why I don't have a ton of facts at my hands, because I got convinced 12 years ago when this all came around. The one thing that stood out to me was that I remember the concept was getting really popular. And at the time, I really liked Neil deGrasse Tyson. And I really liked Neil deGrasse Tyson then. And there was this thing where Neil deGrasse Tyson was talking about, he was like, hey, I'm going to go on the show and I'm going to talk about flat Earth. And I was like, this is awesome. This is amazing. I was like, because I'm not fucking smart. I'm not a science guy. I can't look at this. I can look at these videos and I can get brainwashed and I can be convinced by all the details that people put out. I'm not, like I said, I'm not going to say that I'm convinced yet either way. But back then I'm looking at this stuff and I'm like, I can't refute this evidence. This is very convincing to me. There's lots of pilots, Andrew Bird thing, Operation Fishbowl. Back then there was 2 logos. There was clear evidence. I looked it up myself. I remember looking it up for the podcast. There was 2 logos then 12 years ago. So there's not now. I'm not going to argue it. But back then I presented it on my podcast. So,
we can actually check the Internet Archive if you want. You don't believe me?
No, I'm not arguing anything, but I remember seeing it. Like I said, it's done and over with. But Neil deGrasse Tyson was going to come on this show, and he made an announcement. I'm gonna address flat Earth stuff, and I was so excited.
On your show?
Really No. He announced it on Facebook or something like that he was going to go on TV, this show that he was doing, and he was going to talk about flat Earth.
Okay, so I mean, so, go ahead.
Basically, he went on the show, and me being just a regular dumb citizen, I'm just like anybody else. I'm trying to figure out what the world's going on, right? And I was watching the show, and I'm like, he's finally somebody I respect in the science community is going to address my questions about this that I don't understand.
Can you land the plane? Because I feel like you've been talking about how flat Earth or how Neil deGrasse Tyson is going to talk about it now for like 5 minutes. I just want to know where are we going with the story?
He went on the show and he did a rap diss where he did some stupid rap and he talked about how flat earthers were stupid. And then he dropped the mic and walked off stage I'm Neil deGrasse Tyson. And I was like,
okay, the
most disappointing moment in
I'm sorry that Neil deGrasse Tyson disappointed you.
Of science.
I'm sorry that Neil deGrasse Tyson disappointed you. I don't see how that makes the flat Earth more true.
Well, I was not doing that. I was actually building up to be a compliment to you and your patience.
Well, I appreciate that.
Well, I kind of want to retract it now because you're kind of taking so many digs at me when I'm just trying to build it up.
I'm not trying to take digs at you. I'm just trying to. I just wanted the story. I just wanted you to land the plane.
Right.
But I mean, look, if you want to retract your compliment towards my patience, that's fine. So we did say that we would, we were trying to come to a close. So all I would say is just look at that website. If you find it convincing, great. If you don't find it convincing, feel free to come back on at a later date and we can talk about it. In the meantime, I'm gonna let you go because there's other people that want to come up and talk. But thank you for being here, Happy Daddy.
No problem.
I appreciate you. Take care.
See ya.
All right. We have some super chats to read, and then I'm going to bring up Arthur Aragon Official. I got a text message. Who's this text message from? What the heck? I think my cousin's phone got hacked. Or I don't... Oh, wait, no. No, he was just being kind. It just looks like ChatGPT. Anyway, okay, let me read some super chats, then we'll bring up our next guest. I'll have to read it in full later. From Just Some Guy with the $5. Not gonna make this weird, just hope you're well, bro. Well, I appreciate that, Just Some Guy. From Gretchen with the $3. You had him at gravity. This is dumb now. Yeah, I mean, flat earthers generally don't believe in gravity. You can go listen to any of the big flat earthers and they'll say the same thing. From Shay Welsh with the $5. Would you ever consider debating moon landing, Hollow Earth, and other space conspiracies? Thanks, Blitz. I am happy to debate the moon landing. Hollow Earth is like, I'm happy to talk about the Hollow Earth as well. They're just a much smaller portion of the population. So you just don't get as many people, and so we won't be able to find opposition. From Matt with the $5, whatever happened to that guy who was going to fly you to Florida and take you out on his boat to prove the earth is flat? I decided I'm not going to go because that's crazy. From Emery with the 110 Turkish lira, I think it is, you have to compensate the earth rotation. Also, ground moving to east, if you were going diagonal, it is a mess. If you try to go straight, yeah, so that's a thing too, right? From Tim Davidson with the $5, walking a straight line on the side of a steep hill, you'll have to keep walking up the hill to make sure you don't walk down the hill, like that. Oh, that's a good way to explain it, actually. From Tim Davidson with the $5, again, if you are 99.999% a perfect sphere, can't I just go ahead and say it's a sphere? Yeah, you can, and that's what I do. Tim Davidson again says, the Antarctic Treaty specifically says no military operations. A giant wall of guns to prevent people from landing there would be a military operation. That's true. Tim, you're killing it today. From Tim again, wait, a logo was changed when more countries joined? I'm not sure if that's true, actually. I don't think that the logo changed. From Unfornicated, what a name, does this idiot, be nice, understand the logistics involved for Icewall? 44 aircraft carriers, 220 support ships continuously deployed, only 20 worldwide. Be nice. It is a good point, though. There's a lot of logistics. From Gretchen with the $3, let me guess, Snopes is a liberal psyop. I mean, yeah. Right? From Dr. Fudge with the $5, I'm not a professional guy. Pff, check this amateur guy over here. Shout out to my professional guy. I am a professional guy. I'm a guy professionally. Actually, I'm an amateur guy. I'm a guy, but I don't get paid for being a guy, right? From Nectu with the $2, this caller's never been convinced of anything ever. Well, except the flat earth, apparently. And that's the issue with like with like the conspiracy brain, and like he ran a conspiracy podcast, so like he's at least susceptible to this kind of stuff, I guess. Like they're very skeptical of anything that's mainstream. From Bend, I'm not going to read the rest of your name, with the $5 New Zealand dollars, to head off any religious flurf off the pass. MC Toon is a Christian as well, and he believes in evolution. Yeah, he is. From L'Oreal Ashley, thank you for the $20. Everyone except you, Dr. Blitz, all my love. I appreciate that, L'Oreal. They're so sweet. And from Normal Boy, with the 59 Norwegian kroners, the most irrefutable evidence of a globe Earth is that we can't see the Eiffel Tower from America. If it was flat, then you should be able to see it. Yeah, similarly, you can't see the Statue of Liberty from Southwest Wales. And from Devil's PD with our last super chat for now, I'm not arguing it. I'm definitely correct, but we can't look into it because I'm not arguing it. Yeah. I mean, it seemed like he didn't want to get pushed too hard, which is fine. Like, he didn't come in with all of his facts and stuff, but it does feel a little unfair to say, oh, we can't argue it because we can't argue it or look into it because, you know, I'm not prepared. Like, then be prepared. All right, let's talk to Arthur. Sean, I didn't see yours. Let me scroll up. One sec, Arthur. Can you give me just 1 second? Just make sure I didn't miss a super chat.
Sure thing.
I'm not seeing a super chat that I missed, so it's possible that it was before the live stream launched. Sorry about that. Sean, if you wanna send another message, I'll be happy to read it. Actually, just DM me on Discord, Sean. Okay, Arthur. Arthur. So you wanted to come up. What shape do you think the Earth is, Arthur?
Yeah, so I incline more, and forgive me for my voice. I was a little sick, so hopefully you can hear me pretty clearly.
Mm-hmm.
But I incline more into the Earth being flat personally. For a long time, of course, you don't even argue that fact. You know, you go to school, they tell you what to think, right?
I don't know what you mean by that. But yeah, go ahead.
Well, I mean, do you believe everything they teach you in school or the government tells you?
I don't think that what they teach you in school is related to what the government tells you. I think that what
Well,
you learn in
who
school
writes
is
the books for the who writes the textbooks for the school
you can
system?
go look up the authors. Usually they're, you know, if it's a science book, it'll be a scientist or scientists that
Well, I
write
guess
it.
my next question, yeah, and that's fair. But my next question would naturally be, do you believe everything the government tells us?
No, and you don't have to think that the Earth is a globe.
So that's what I mean is like a lot of things that have been said to us, or make us believe certain things. To me, I just have more of an open mind, so I don't look at it as a conspiracy. I just look at it like, how can anyone really know what the shape of the Earth is unless you really look at what they've presented as evidence to all of us?
Well,
that's kind of my
the
premise.
government isn't the people presenting evidence, right?
Well, I mean, yeah, that's true. I don't mean the government's presenting that, but what I mean is whatever the authority is, whatever that agency is, or whatever, right? But I mean, who would that be? I guess you would probably know, right?
There aren't agencies that give us the evidence. I mean, like there are, like some agencies do science, but like it's scientists, right? It's scientists.
How do we know the Earth is round? Is what I mean, like, or that shape, you know?
So I mean, like, look, there's the ancient Greeks knew the Earth was a sphere 2,300 years ago, right? They figured out that it was a sphere based off of essentially thinking about what kinds of shapes the Earth could have, and still making sense of the fact that time zones were different. They didn't have time zones, but they knew that like sunrise and sunset were at different times in different places. They knew that the lengths of shadows depended on where you were on the Earth. Not just what time it was, but also like where you were on the Earth. Like if you were north or south, the shadows would be different lengths. And from those facts, they could deduce that the Earth couldn't be flat, that it had to be spherical. And in fact, they were able to figure out or how big the Earth was. And this is before any governments existed. You can also figure this out from like what angle the North Star is above the horizon. As you move north and south, how that angle changes. You can figure out the shape that way. You can figure out the shape from merely looking at sunsets and how the time till sunset changes depending on what altitude you're at. If you're in a very, very tall building, you can get a few more minutes of daylight out than if you're on the ground. So there's a lot of different ways that you can tell this, but probably the most straightforward way is just launch a rocket yourself, which a guy has done, and then put a camera with a rectilinear lens on it, and you'll see that the Earth has curvature.
I haven't seen that. I mean, that you could actually do that?
I could show. Yeah,
that's allowed.
I can show it to you. He made a video. The guy who did it made a video out of it.
It's just you know what happened. I mean, you can pull it up. It's fine. It's just difficult sometimes because you know, and when you're in your mind, when you start to see other things that you feel like certain authorities or certain things you're supposed to believe, you start to question everything. If that makes sense. So it's not that you're conspiratorial, it's just that you start to question everything. I think that's natural. So one of the things that people question is a flat Earth. Why not?
Well, because it's like obviously false. Like there's so many different ways to prove that it's not flat.
Oh, what is that?
Oh, look, let me show you. So this is a guy named Kip. So this is a guy named Kip Doggerdas. He's the guy who posted it on the internet. I think he's the guy who made it. So he goes over like the whole process of building his rocket and like what the various experiments he used to like calibrate it and test it and stuff. Yeah. Goes over all of this. And you know, there's various tests and parachute deployment and you know, it's like a whole video. And then we get to the part where he launches it. Now he launches it in the middle of Nevada. It's in the desert in Nevada. So here's a photo. Here's another photo. And he actually has a camera mounted to the side of the rocket. So I'm going to skip forward to the part where this is the camera mounted to the side of the rocket. It's sideways because like the engineering, it had to be mounted vertically. I'm going to speed it up and we can just watch it in real time as it goes up. So here it's going up. It's stabilizing itself. That's why it's spinning. It spins to stabilize itself. And so it's just going to go up for a while. It gets to about 300,000 feet up. I'm just going to skip forward up until it gets to the peak. So right around here is when it gets to its peak. And I'm going to put it back down to normal time. And it's completely it's completely continuous, uncut. There's nothing, there's you know, no room for any of that. But we can just watch now. So here it is at 300,000 feet, right? Or approximately 300,000 feet. Now it releases its drogue parachute. Does that look curved to you?
Well, No, it doesn't. But
It doesn't. We can put it in a editing software and check to see if it's curved. It's only slightly curved, but it is curved.
Well, let me tell you how I perceive that if you incline for the Earth to be flat. For me, I don't know if is going to make sense, but when I think of the Earth being flat, I do believe it's also circular, if that makes sense. So it's, how do I explain it? So I don't believe it's necessarily a sphere. I just think it's a whole different shape, personally. So
okay,
when I
so
see
you
that,
think
I
you
just
think it's
feel
like you think it's like a dinner plate shape?
Yeah, there you go. That's a good example.
Okay, so then
because I believe so.
My
hold
on.
My next point was
an issue with that.
More religious based, but yeah.
If what you're seeing here is the edge of the dinner plate, then why isn't it ice wall at the edge? Why is there ocean? Or why like over here it should just be all white where the Antarctic edge ice wall is, but it's not. That's like just ocean. There's clouds there. It's just blue. So why, if we're seeing the edge, why aren't we seeing the edge?
Well, assuming the edge is the Antarctic, glaciers, I guess, right?
What do you think is at the edge?
That's a fair point. So I would say that, I've never seen this video, by the way.
You should. So it's pretty compelling.
Yeah, and I can see. So looking at this video, yeah, to me, I would have that same question. That's a good observation. I would think, yeah, where is you can clearly see like the white, I would assume is more, those
clouds.
Glaciers or
no, that's clouds.
Clouds, but
yeah,
clouds.
You can see that they're clouds because they're like obviously clouds here, and then it just continues. And also, this is in Nevada, like where are the glaciers that you're seeing, right?
Right. Yeah. So that's true, but I would also argue maybe it's kind of difficult to go off of one video personally. So I'll tell you why. Even though this video seems to prove that I kind of how far
you're cutting out.
Rocket go up in the air. How far did it go up in the air?
293,000 feet.
At what point so what would have happened if it goes to 500,000 feet? Do we see the glacier? Can we actually see that?
Well, look, the point is that you're seeing the point is that if it's like it's obviously curved, right? Like this is obviously curved. And if it's curved but because you're seeing the edge,
how I explained it too.
Because
like a plate type, right?
But I don't understand. Aren't you saying that it's like a plate, and so the reason why it's curved is because the edge of the plate is curved? Like it's like a circle?
So what I mean by that is pretend you're looking at a plate from the top view, because that's what we're doing here on this video, right?
Yep.
So if we did, that's what I'm saying. Like my argument would be is, yeah, I understand this seems compelling, but if we all sway one way, we're gonna, use whatever evidence we find in our favor. Not, yeah, you're doing that. I'm just saying, I think most humans would do that. So if I look at a plate, from the top view, right? That's what I mean. Is like I'm looking at a circle.
So then look, so when you look at a plate from the top view, you see a circle, and so this part here, sorry, you can't see that. This part here, that would be the edge of the plate, right?
I think it would be that's
otherwise
tough,
why is it curved?
But that's also me believing that you said what kind of lens did they use in this camera?
It's called a rectilinear lens. It's the kind of lens that it avoids fisheye effects.
That's what I was gonna say. So it avoids fisheye effects. So so that's, I don't know enough about lenses, right? So I'm assuming that that's 100% the case. That's exactly what it's gonna do.
They say explicitly that they're using a GoPro Hero 9S with a modified rectilinear lens, or modified rectilinear lenses, because they modified them specifically to avoid fisheye effects.
Yeah. So can you play the video just for another few seconds? Is that okay? Just real quick. Because it's just going round and round. So, and then this is assuming I'm moving all over the place on top of a plate too, right? So it's kind of difficult. Yeah, I can see how it can be used against the argument for flat Earth. I could see that, but I could also see that the camera is moving all over the place because the parachute went off, and then now the camera's kind of moving everywhere. So you're gonna catch glimpses of the Earth
Yeah, and so you can freeze you can freeze frame it, right?
Well, yeah, but I mean, does anybody
you
have
can just
evidence?
You can just look at it at different moments.
Well, but that's the best thing we got, right? We don't
Yeah,
have
this is
anything
pretty
better.
damn good.
It's okay.
This is
but
not
it's
run. It's not run. It's not run by any governmental organization. There's no cuts anywhere between launch to apogee, right? What else? What more could you ask for?
Well, I think that what more can you ask for? So it's like I see this, right, and I'm like, okay, that's pretty compelling because what else can we do? Well, I would assume if I had a perfect world, I would say, can we get that parachute to stabilize and be maybe a little bit higher than 293,000 feet? I don't know how much. I'm sure that's really high, but I'm saying, what happens if you go to 350, 400,000 feet? Like what happens, and then what happens?
So that's like at the you know that 293,000 feet is at the edge of space, right?
No, I did not know that.
Okay, that's the edge of space.
Okay, so that's pretty high, obviously, right? So if we're all the way up there, so let's assume it's high enough, okay? So it's high enough, then is how can we get it to where it stabilizes enough for?
Why does it have to be stable? You can look at individual freeze frames.
Well, I think that would make.
How would making it more stable? Would making it more stable convince you? Would that if you saw the same thing but stabilized, would you be convinced?
I think I think I would be convinced at the video that was taken to people or assume or visually see that the Earth has more evidence to be round. So I would at least not argue this video, if that makes sense. So
but because it's spinning, all of a sudden the evidence it's no longer a compelling video evidence.
Well, I never said it's not compelling, or as far as not good evidence. All I'm saying is it goes back to what I initially said, and I'll tell you briefly. Like, I'm sure I'm not the only human being on Earth that has gotten to the point where a lot of things that they used to think were true have been proven to be false, perhaps. And so now you have this.
Yeah, like the Earth, like people 2,500 years ago thought the Earth was flat, and then we proved it to be not flat 2,300 years ago.
Well, why did they refer to the Earth as being flat on the Bible?
Because they still believed it was flat 2,500 years ago.
Well, wait a minute. Didn't you say the Greeks recognized the fact that it was round?
The Greeks were after when the Hebrew Bible were written. The Greeks proved that it was round after when the Hebrew Bible was written.
Yeah, but okay, so things like, for example, when you see things like, you know who Werner von Braun is?
Yeah. Do you know who he is?
Yeah, he's a famous rocket scientist.
Yeah. Okay.
Why would I ask you that? I'm not
I don't
an idiot. I mean, come on. Yeah. Anyway, what was the thing that he left on his tombstone? What writing? Do you know?
It was one of the Psalms. And it was one of the Psalms that flat earthers like to point to because the English translation is something like says the firmament. But he wasn't.
Well, how religious are you?
I'm not religious at all. But Werner von Braun.
Well, let me say this.
Werner von Braun wasn't an English native speaker. Werner von Braun wasn't a native English speaker. He was a native German speaker.
I understand, but
the German translation isn't firmament. It's something like sky or fortress.
So you have a famous rocket scientist that on his tombstone, he decides to put anything close to insinuating that the Earth might be anything other than the shape of a ball,
well,
right?
To be clear, the verse doesn't say anything about the shape of the Earth. Right?
Well,
it talks about the sky. And the English word that is often used as a translation for rakia is firmament. It's a very old word that means something like the heavens, something like this.
Dome.
And so, no, not a dome. Firmament doesn't mean dome. Those two words are unrelated. But if you go look at the German,
it has nothing to do with a dome.
Yeah, flat earthers typically think the firmament is a dome, and the ancient Hebrews thought that the firmament was a dome, but the words aren't related, right? And so the German translation for this word rakia means something closer to sky or perhaps fortress. It doesn't translate to firmament. So if you want to go interpret what his tombstone said, which by the way, when you're dead, you don't choose what goes on your tombstone, right? Because you're dead. But you know, suppose he had some advanced.
What goes on your tombstone?
Yeah, usually you're next to, usually like the person who's burying you chooses what goes on your tombstone, right?
So you don't think so? When you before you die, he
could have had some advanced directive. That's possible. But supposing that he had some advanced directive and he chose this, the point is you can go look at the German version of this verse and then translate it, and you'll get a word like fortress or sky. You won't get firmament.
Okay, but I want you. So you're a very you seem like a very bright guy, right? Very smart. So you look at the facts and you look at the details a lot, which is great. But I asked you a question that you still haven't addressed. If I'm a guy that studied rocket science, I'm a rocket scientist, and assuming you do have some sort of control what goes on your tombstone, which I like to think most of us probably would, maybe on our deathbed, maybe, right? I mean, he didn't just die abruptly. I'm sure, you know, he died as an old man, I think.
Did he?
Don't you think, why would he choose to write that verse? That's my question.
So
why that verse?
Because he worked in his whole life's work was you know, getting into like putting things in the sky, right?
Also, it just makes sense that he wrote that then to you.
I mean, like, it's plausible that his wife put it on his tombstone because his wife may have been religious and his wife may have been like, this is symbolic.
Assumed, hey,
it's
why
possible.
Not tell the world that, hey, let's imply that the earth is flat?
Well, this verse doesn't say anything about the earth being flat. That's the issue.
Yeah, but it implies to a lot of people.
No, it doesn't. So okay, so do you want me to pull up the German version?
Hold on. What else would it imply? What else would it imply then?
So do you know what the verse says?
I do know what the verse says.
Okay, so the verse is something like, if we take a German version of this this verse,
German?
Because he was a German man. Because he was German.
But he wrote that in English.
Psalms, so, to be clear, Psalms is not an English word. The word for psalm in German is psalm.
Or is it written in English?
The word for psalm is written in the word
what
psalm.
I mean is the phrase that he wrote on the tombstone. Did he
wait a minute. You think that
in German, or was it written in English?
Wait, hold on.
I don't know that.
He didn't write the verse on the tombstone. He just wrote he just wrote Psalm 19:1. He didn't write out the full verse, right?
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. That's fair. Okay, I didn't know that.
Like, yeah. I can show you the tombstone if you want. I can show you a picture.
So the tombstone just has the psalm.
Yeah, look. This is a picture of the tombstone.
Okay.
It just says Psalms 19:1. It doesn't actually say
why
it.
Would he? Okay, so that argument is out of the question, right? Because he, you know, as far as English.
Why haven't you looked into this?
Well, what do you mean? We're doing that right now.
Why? You came up thinking that this was like a big, like, oh, why did he talk about the flat Earth? He didn't. You haven't looked into this at all. You just kind of assumed that it was on the tombstone and that it was in English.
Wait a minute. You're saying I didn't look into it.
Apparently not.
You have hold on. You have the computer in front of you. Why haven't you looked into it either?
I have. That's why I know what I'm talking about. I was showing you a picture.
Are you sure? Yeah. The last guy, you had to look up a lot of different things.
I was
telling me why didn't
hold on. Showing someone something. To be clear, showing someone something, like pulling up something so that they can see it, is different from me being unprepared and having to find it.
Wait a minute. Didn't you have to look something up for the other guy?
Yeah, about the fruit of the loom.
Yeah, you didn't know that.
Well, the fruit of the loom has nothing to do with the shape of the Earth.
Well, then why did you look it up?
Because he asked me to.
For what? It doesn't
because he wanted to talk about the Mandela effect. You seem confused. Look, let me show you what the verse is in German.
The thing is, it's not a fair argument for you to tell me that I'm not prepared. You shouldn't do that. Because if somebody takes
it's
the time
absolutely a fair argument if you think that this is an argument against the shape of the Earth being against the Earth being
so
spherical.
You still haven't answered me. Why did he write that verse? What is your perspective on that?
I already have answered you. The answer is that his whole life's work was about, you know, in some sense, breaking into the sky, breaking past that metaphorical barrier. That was his whole life's work, putting things in space. And so of course he's going to pull a Bible verse.
Verse for
yeah,
you.
absolutely.
There's nothing else he should have put.
Okay. So read
how many other rocket scientists?
Hold on. To be clear, we're not done. Read the first sentence. Now this sentence is in German. I pulled up the German text for you.
Okay, let me try to read that in German. Sure.
Well, no. So this is the first phrase or the first clause of the psalm. Now we can go translate this. I don't speak German, but we can go put it into Google Translate, right? So here it is in Google Translate. This is the first thing. The heavens tell the glory of God. Now tell me, do you think that a rocket scientist who maybe is religious would want that verse on their tombstone?
The heavens tell the glory of God. Are you asking me, a rocket scientist that is religious?
Yeah, would they want that on their tombstone?
He was known to be religious, is what you're saying.
I don't know. We can check if you want. But suppose that he was, because like to be clear,
not prepared?
if he wasn't, well, look, the reason is it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whether or not he was religious.
Now because it's about you.
No, let me explain. You're confused. It doesn't matter whether he was religious.
I'm confused. Okay.
Yeah, let me explain how you're confused.
Well, wait a minute. You said we have to be prepared.
I am prepared.
I just asked you a question.
His religiosity is irrelevant, because if he's not religious, then he didn't choose to put this on his tombstone. Why would a non-religious person put it on his tombstone, right? If he is religious, then we can investigate why he may have put this on his tombstone. And it's pretty clear from this first clause that it's because of this phrase that he would put it on his tombstone. If he was religious and he thought that space, the universe, the stars were all glorifying God, and his life's work was studying those things and, existing in that space, no pun intended, then of course he's going to put a verse like this on his tombstone.
That's interesting.
It's completely unsurprising. Of course he would, because this is talking about his life's work glorifying God.
So assuming he's religious, though.
Assuming he's religious, then it makes total sense why it would end up on his tombstone. If he's not religious, that just means somebody else put it there.
Oh, okay, so you have an answer for both things.
Yes, which is why it doesn't matter whether he's religious or not for my argument.
So wait a minute. So it's not because maybe there's something more to it. It has to be.
Yeah, no, it's exactly. Yeah, there isn't something more to it.
Have done it.
Exactly.
Okay, that's a fact.
Like, why would a non-religious person cite the Bible?
Because you were there at his deathbed.
Why would a non-religious person cite the Bible?
Why would a non-religious person cite the Bible?
Yeah.
Well, how about this? You have the computer in front of you. I can do it. It takes me 10 seconds. Why don't you just put it on Google and say, was Werner van Braun, was he a religious man?
Yeah, I just did. He was a Lutheran, a practicing Lutheran.
He was a practicing Lutheran.
Yep.
So he chose, out of all the phrases, right? He chose to put something that to a lot of people, simple folk, you may say, may think or assume that he was referring to the firmament, right?
I don't think that most people I don't think that most people interpret Psalm 19 as a flat earth verse.
Well, wait a minute. At the beginning, you said that a lot of flat earthers use that phrase.
You're confused again.
Argument against round earth.
Yeah. So you're confused. So no, I did say that, but you're confused. You're confused, and I'll explain to you how you've been concussed here.
Please.
So I said that a lot of flat earthers use this as an argument, but that doesn't mean that a lot of people interpret this verse as a flat earth verse, because most people are not flat earthers.
I mean, that's true, but there is a lot of people that do believe that.
A lot. I mean, there's way more than there should be, but it's like 10% of the population. It's like 10% of the population. It's like 10% of the population that is flat earth in the United States. So it's a big number, but it's definitely not most people. Not even close to most people.
Yeah, it's not most. I never said it was most, though. I agree with you.
So your question was, why is it that most people would interpret this as talking about the firmament when that's not the case?
I guess what I mean is, I don't know if you caught it or not. I might have said most people, but then I did say most people that believe on a flat earth or that give the argument for flat earth use that as a piece of evidence. Is that correct?
Absolutely, they do. I don't think that Werner von Braun was really caring about flat earthers.
Why would they? Why would they?
Why do that?
Why would they assume that song would be an argument for it?
Yeah, it's a good question. Right? It's because they're. You're right. It is stupid.
Stupid then.
Well, yeah.
Flat earthers are dumb.
Yeah. Generally speaking, yeah.
Okay, because you've personally gone up in space and looked down and say, "Wow, what a beautiful globe."
You don't need to do that in order to know the shape of the Earth is a sphere. You don't need to do that.
You've never done that, though.
I've also never been to Australia, but I know that Australia exists.
Yeah, well, now you're arguing that you can go to a piece of land. I don't understand. And they welcome you in Australia.
I grant that you don't understand.
I mean, I don't understand why you would
You
even
don't
argue
have to
that
go somewhere to know that it exists. You don't have to go to space to know that the Earth is a sphere. In the same way, you don't have to go to Australia to know that Australia exists.
So you're telling me that you're comparing me going to Australia, right? You don't have to go there to know that it exists. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, have you been to Australia
before? As
before?
going up in space to look down. That's why you had to show me a video.
Have you been to Australia before?
Why is that relevant?
I just want to check your skepticism, right?
No, that's not relevant.
It
Whether
is.
I did go or not go. I can
It is, because you might be being a hypocrite.
Australia. Well, hold on. Why would it be relevant if I've been to Australia or not? I could easily jump on a plane. That's not my argument. My argument
No, you're
is
missing it.
comparing
It's
apples and
my
oranges.
argument.
No,
I'm calling you a
comparing
hypocrite.
apples and oranges.
I'm calling you a hypocrite. And I'm
You're
doing that by
comparing
making
apples and
I'm calling you a hypocrite, and I'm doing that by testing your skepticism.
By telling you that I've been to Australia, that would
Have you been to Australia?
Tell me how it's relevant.
I will once you answer the question. It seems like you're dodging.
I'm dodging if I've been to. Okay, no, I've never been to Australia. What's your point?
Yeah, my point is, how do you know Australia exists?
I could easily go on to,
But you haven't
online,
been
book a
there, so
flight.
but you
Well,
haven't.
hold on. Let
So
me
how do you know that
finish.
that it exists?
Can I answer the question?
Yeah, please.
Well, can I answer the question?
Sure.
But I'm interrupting, just so you know. So if I go on and I would assume that it would take you there. Same way that I've taken flights to go just about anywhere on Earth. Right? Is that safe to say? So I could easily, right, know if that's the case or not. When the plane lands, or when I book the flight, it'll say Australia, whatever, Sydney. Once I land, hey, I'm in Australia. These people talk different. It looks different here. It says, welcome to Australia. So there's evidence that I can do today. That's why I said, hold on, I'm not finished. I'm almost done. That's why I said it's not the same as comparing it to know if you personally, you can go on top, in the universe, look down and say, what a beautiful globe. This is amazing. You can't do that.
So two things. One, you recognize now that you can just book a flight to Antarctica, right? So you can't say that nobody can go to Antarctica.
Assuming that that's the case, I would say this to that real quick.
Okay.
I think that's correct, but I think that's correct. I also don't know 100% sure. I don't think the average person is taking a flight or a trip to Antarctica, even if you can.
The average person's also not taking a trip to Australia.
Well, are you
Most
serious?
Americans have never been to Australia.
So you think? Wait a minute. So you it's equally common for someone to book a flight to Australia versus Antarctica.
I didn't say that.
Well, that's kind of what you're implying.
Nope. What I'm implying is that in both cases, this is something that most Americans never do.
Wait a minute. So you're telling me that it's comparable? So if
I'm literally making a comparison.
So you're telling me that very few people fly from the U.S. Very few people.
We're gonna find this out for you if you want. We're gonna find out what percentage of Americans have visited Australia.
Visit Australia in a per year basis.
Yeah. No, just have been to Australia. We can just talk about that if you want.
In all of time.
Yeah. I'm trying to find that. So it looks like
I don't see how. Okay.
So I'm able to find that 0.2% of the United States population visits Australia in a given year. I'm not able to find information on how many total people have been to Australia from the United States, like what percentage.
Okay.
But surely you would agree that it's small, since less than 1% visit Australia each year.
Yeah,
right?
that is small. How many people visit Antarctica?
So we agree that the vast majority of Americans will have never gone to Australia in their life, right?
Yeah, how many people have visited Antarctica?
Also a small amount. The point is, in both cases, it's a vast majority of Americans will have never been there. Probably. It's probably some very small number.
0.000001 probably.
Yeah, it's some very small number. The point is that
it's
neither of them.
Very small number. So how
yes,
is that
I agree. It's a very.
At all again?
You can literally compare numbers. That's the whole business of numbers. You can make comparisons.
Well,
the point is that the vast majority.
You're comparing Australia.
The vast majority of Americans will never go to Australia, and the vast majority of Americans will never go to Antarctica. So,
yeah, but
you
matter,
could
right?
you could go to both, right? Like you could make
assuming
like,
yes.
There is no issue. I can show you like various private organizations that will send you to Antarctica.
What part of Antarctica are you allowed to go to? That's the question. I don't know that. Is it anywhere?
You can go find it. You can figure out which. In fact, there's a part that
so you can go anywhere in Antarctica. Anywhere in Antarctica.
I didn't say that.
Continent.
I didn't say that. So there is a company that will take you to literally the South Pole.
So why can't it
by the
take
way,
you to wherever you want on that continent?
I mean, in principle, you can, but like if you're a company, you have to organize trips that are desirable. And so you're probably not going to be able to get a lot of people who are going to want to visit like just some random patch of land in Antarctica, right? So you will have companies that book trips for and these are not private. These are like, you know, you have like 20 people going on these trips at a time. You will have companies that take you to the South Pole. You will have companies that take you to various well-known places in Antarctica. You can go privately if you want, but it's just going to be a lot more expensive and harder logistically. You like going privately or even just going on your own. So the fact that you can book a trip to the South Pole, does that mean that the South Pole exists?
The fact that you can book a trip to the South Pole.
Mm-hmm.
It does mean that I would assume that it does mean that it could exist. Yes.
Not that it could exist, that it does exist, right?
Well, like I said, it makes the argument that it does exist.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that I would argue on that is we're comparing Australia. That's just the thing I don't like. You're comparing.
I know you don't like it because it destroys your worldview.
Well, it doesn't. Let me clarify. If I can book a flight to Australia, in my humble opinion, it's a little different than booking a flight to Antarctica. Why?
Why is it different?
Because I do think numbers matter. Unlike yourself. If I research how many people visit Antarctica, right? How many, like truly, like is it 10? Is it 30 people? How expensive is it to go there?
It's about,
I would argue that
it depends on the trip, but it's going to cost somewhere, like minimum, it's going to cost you like $20,000.
Okay, so the average person is not going to go there.
Yeah, right? The average person's also not going to go to Australia.
But again, numbers matter, I would think, right?
The point is average people won't go to either.
You have a choice.
Average people won't go to either.
Do you have a choice? You can go to Antarctica or you can go to Australia, but one of them is $500. The other one's 20 grand.
Do you think going to Australia is $500? How much do you think it costs to go to Australia?
I'm giving you an example. So you're going to tell me it's $18,000 to go to Australia now?
No, but it's going to be a few $1,000s easy. Like you could be like,
so if you're going reasonable. Most people expect to pay that kind of money.
Most people don't go to Australia. Most people don't go to Australia. That's just the reality of the world.
Most people expect to pay that kind of money for a flight.
I'm sorry that it's more expensive to go to Antarctica. That doesn't make it less. That doesn't make your reasoning more valid about Australia and less valid about Antarctica. The point is that you said because you can go online and book something right now if you want to, that means that Australia exists. And I told you that you can go online and book something right now if you want to go to the South Pole. And by that exact same reasoning, that means the South Pole exists.
Yeah, well, but my argument is simple. I'm not saying it does not exist. What I am saying is...
Okay, then the Earth is a globe.
I don't know. There's not the same amount of evidence that, say, Australia exists versus Antarctica. You're talking about Australia, where millions of people have probably visited over time. And you're talking about Antarctica, you're talking about maybe 0.5% in all of time, human history, probably.
0.5% of all of time.
Well, so you're telling me that it's comparable.
Do you think that 0.5% of people
versus the people that visit Australia, it's comparable?
I'm not saying the numbers are comparable. I'm saying that your argument. No, I'm literally not saying that. I mean, like you can compare numbers, obviously, but I'm not saying that the numbers are similar.
But it's very different.
The numbers are different. I agree. The point I'm making is that your reasoning. No, I'm sorry. Don't interrupt me.
Don't do that.
The point is your reasoning for why you know that Australia exists when applied to Antarctica proves that the South Pole exists.
Okay, but what I'm saying is there's plenty of evidence that Australia exists.
There's plenty of evidence that Antarctica exists, that the South Pole exists. There's plenty of evidence that the Earth is a globe.
Let's assume they both exist. I don't know if you can visit the South Pole in any location. There's going to be an argument to say...
In any location? The South Pole is one location.
Any area in the South Pole. I mean, you don't have to be smart.
The South Pole is one location.
Any area...
I'm talking about the actual South Pole. I'm talking about the actual South Pole. You can visit the South Pole. The South Pole is one place.
Pole, but can you visit any area in the South Pole is what I mean.
That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the South Pole.
Yeah.
The South Pole you can visit.
Pole? So the South Pole is an area, right?
No, it's a single place.
So it's a single place where?
Yeah, in Antarctica.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. Why are we
I'm talking about the South Pole, not Antarctica generally, the South Pole.
What is your point of saying you can visit the South Pole?
Because if the Earth is flat, there isn't a South Pole.
If the Earth is flat, there isn't a South Pole.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you put that on the screen there? If the Earth is flat, you couldn't visit Antarctica or the South Pole, which is in Antarctica, and you would just kill everybody's argument. Why do this?
That's what I'm doing right now. I'm killing your argument.
No, hold on a second. Why are you dodging the question? Why don't you just put that on the screen? I don't know what I'm dodging. If it's such a compelling argument.
Because why would I put the evidence behind me rather than the prompt?
No. But what I'm saying is, okay, fine. Don't put that on the screen. Then why don't you lead with that comment?
Because most people think that just because you can buy a ticket somewhere doesn't mean that that's real. You do. That is how you came to the justification that Australia is real.
What I'm saying to you is, if you argue with anyone here, including me, the best piece of evidence, according to you right now, is
this is the best piece of evidence for you.
Hold on, you can visit the South Pole. Therefore, it disproves flat Earth. Well, the argument should be like 2 minutes long.
Well, yeah, it would be if people use the same style of reasoning that you used, namely that if you can buy a ticket to go somewhere, that somewhere must be real. I'm just going off of that argument that you offered. Most flat earthers will be like, well, just because you can buy a ticket somewhere doesn't mean that it's real. But you had that view. You said that. That was your argument for how you know Australia is real. So I offered a comparison which shows that using that same argument, you have to accept that the South Pole is real.
Oh, okay. So can we both agree then? So I just understand where where you lay as a human being. You're okay with arguing with people no matter what their belief is. You're not going to go straight to one fact to try to disprove what they think. You like a good argument.
People have different standards for how they come to their beliefs and how they justify the conclusions that they come to. I will meet them where those standards are and provide them evidence that is in accordance with those standards.
But that doesn't make sense. I get what you're saying.
It does make sense. It's called being good at engaging with people.
Either you like to argue or you just don't want to present.
It's called being good at engaging with people.
Are people dumb?
Yeah,
so hold on.
We've been over this. Flat earthers are dumb. Yeah.
So you're telling me that if somebody comes up with the fact that you can travel to the South Pole and that should be enough evidence for anybody to be convinced that the Earth is not flat, why not just lean into that argument? That's so
because
argument.
a lot of flat earthers think that you can't travel to the South Pole.
But if there's evidence, how can they?
They think the evidence is fake.
They think okay, all right. Yeah, that's kind of crazy. I mean, we can.
It is. I mean, it says the flat earther about other flat earthers.
Exactly. But what I'm saying to you is now either you like to argue or you really don't want to tell people that they're wrong, or I don't know what you're doing. Because
okay, I get that you're confused. That's fine. I understand it.
Piece of evidence. It's not confusion. I see what you do though. You want to tell somebody, you want to kind of lead with a sort of a indirect,
no, I
insult.
want to.
That's not going to work.
Oh well, I mean,
but
it is working.
Doing that the whole time.
Yeah, because you've been acting in bad faith for like the last 25 minutes. The point is that I will use whatever arguments are.
I'm challenging your view.
No, it's not challenging my view. That's bad faith. It's the kind of acting that you're doing. It's the kind of behavior that you're engaging in that's bad faith. And I mean, like we can check that. We can rewatch the recording if you want. But the point is that whenever I'm engaging with somebody on a topic, I ask them, one of the first things that I'll ask them is, what convinced you of XYZ thing? And that gives me a sense of the kind of evidence that they use to come to conclusions and draw their beliefs, right? And so what I learned from you is that you can use things like the existence of flight planning and like you can purchase a flight to do something, that is sufficient evidence for you. So that's why I brought up this example, because this example uses the standard that you've already invoked to make your point or to show that your point is false. So I will use whatever standard is necessary to show that somebody's view is false if I think it's false. And if their standard is compatible with this piece of evidence, great. If their standard is not compatible with this piece of evidence, if they would just say that this piece of evidence is fake, then I will use something else. And this is just called being, I don't know, skilled at doing the debate topic, I guess. That you have a whole bunch of different arguments that you can offer in different contexts when needed.
But that doesn't make any sense, because if you're arguing with anybody on the other side, which is me in this case, you could easily just present that one piece of evidence and their whole argument would be dead, right?
That'd be great if they accepted that piece of evidence. You've already acknowledged that you would accept this piece of evidence.
But I could easily Google this though. I could easily say, oh, how many people have traveled to Australia? How many people have traveled to the Antarctic?
Yeah, they'll think it's fake. And look, Arthur, maybe you are not as so far gone as the rest of the flat earthers, but if you listen to these conversations I have with flat earthers, the vast majority of the evidence that I suggest, they'll be like, that's fake. I don't know if you know that.
No, this is the first. I mean, I've seen you on TikTok. I've never taken the time to come up here, and that's fair. The only thing I would say is two things. Look, I do think that you know your stuff, and I just think that I don't think it's fair when you start to accuse someone of like, well, you need to do your evidence, and you don't have enough research. And well, I mean, dude, you're controlling the whole conversation. You're live, right? So we should be a little bit more fair to the other person or the other party.
So is your argument now? I mean, look, I'm generally very, very fair until people. I'm generally very, very charitable. You asked me a question. You asked me a question. I'm generally very fair and very charitable until someone stops being fair and charitable. And you've passed that threshold.
You also said I was doing in bad faith. I mean,
yeah, you were. You passed that threshold 25 minutes ago.
Please. 20
minutes ago or so. You can go back and rewatch the replay. It'll be online, and you can go see it.
Oh, so you can actually point to at least one
your entire behavior. You've been interrupting me regularly. You've been not letting me finish regularly. You have been intentionally ignoring the points that I've been bringing up regularly.
If I'm ignoring that, I would have left already, right?
No, I mean, you've been like ignoring the points that I make and then just pivoting completely off topic. So look, what I'm going to do, Arthur, is...
You haven't answered me my question.
To ensure I don't keep insulting you. To be sure I don't keep insulting you, I'm going to let you go, Arthur, because otherwise I'm going to start saying very mean things very quickly. But if you want to rewatch it, you can go back and watch it during the... I'm going to post this. This will be up probably on YouTube in like a week and a half. You can go watch the replay now. You can just wind the clock back, and you can pay attention as to when I start getting frustrated with you. And look at the way that you're behaving. All right, let's read some super chats, and we'll move on to our next guest. All right, from Tim, with the $5, my logo super chat was seconds before you showed they never changed it. I just assumed they updated it when no, there was no change ever. Yeah, I mean, they're not gonna like take out countries from the logo when they're not in the UN. It's the whole Earth. It's the, you know, they should call it United Earth, right? From Orion Cooper, Sean said he mixed up UN and UNICEF logos. Oh, okay, Sean. Fair enough. Sorry I missed your super chat though. From Brody with the $10, flat earthers are suffering from a lack of education on principles like proving a negative and concepts that make conspiracies impossible, like compounding probabilities and large-scale coordination. This is true. This is absolutely true. From Lazy Wagon with the 2 Canuck bucks, where's the vid evidence of under the flat plate? Yeah, they never have that, right? From Ben with the $5 New Zealand, Mage 2 video from Mr. Sensible is another private person using weather balloon and square lens. Ah, that's a good one. Ben, if you can message me in the Discord, and the Discord is discord.gg/drblitz. If you can message me that video, I'd love to add it to my debate notes. And by the way, this is a good time to shill for myself. If you guys want to support me and what I do, which you should, because, you know, you're here watching, aren't you? You can become a member on YouTube. It's like $4 or $5 a month. It helps support me. It helps me basically have some sort of financial security. You know, super chats and ads and like not ads, like watch what are they called? Video ads. When you're like watching a thing on YouTube and there's ads, those things can be pretty inconsistent. So the consistency of being a member is really helpful. And if you become a member, you get access to my debate notes, which has a whole bunch of resources and links to videos, links to papers, links to pieces of evidence, arguments, counter arguments for a lot of different topics. So like they're my personal videos or my personal debate notes, but I make them available to supporters. So consider it. From First Dr. Dead with the $5, Both round earthers and flat earthers both think the earth is round. The flat earthers are too stupid to know that a disk is round. Well, yeah, it's a difference between round in two different ways, right? From Ellie with the €2, I'm German, want to let you know psalm is psalm. Yeah, the word psalm is the same in both languages. From K with the 2 Canuck bucks, firmament is the sky and what appears inside it. Yeah, that's one way to understand it. From Stratoblaster with the $5, he has obviously not read an Old Testament pseudepigrapha, so he does not understand the different interpretations. He mind wrapped around KJV Biblica. Yeah, that's where most people end up, that's true. From Ellie with the €5, dead people do not, in fact, care what the living think of their tombstones. Caller is either dishonest or very koala-brained. Koala-brained is a good one, we should start using that more. From Skeet Sayer with the 50 Canuck bucks, thank you so much, Skeet Sayer. I appreciate you. I know that we disagree on a lot, but I appreciate you. As I have said before, Euro-Christianity are not the only ones to talk about God. Ethiopia is the oldest Christian society. Don't forget that it was the Euro Church that brought the flat earth argument, though through the Book of Enoch, or though the Book of Enoch proves otherwise. Yes, flat earth is very much a European thing, and then it's spread out, which is unfortunate. From Skeet Sayer again with the 5 Canuck bucks, you should ask your callers why water spins the other way when in South America versus the USA. That is a myth. If you're talking about like toilet bowls. From Gretchen with the $5, so much I want to say about Arthur, but you mean girl shamed me on UA yesterday, so I'm taking the day off of being a bitch. Let's go with oof. Good, that's good. We gotta be nice. Skeet Sayer again with the 5 Canuck bucks. Key to Australia is you will land the day before or even the same time you left. That's true. Well, not exactly the same time, but a similar time. From Skeet Sayer again, why did we get rid of the plastic earths that everyone had in their living rooms in the 70s and 80s? Good question. I wish that we didn't, but it was probably the flat earthers' fault, right? From Skeet with the F me, even the X-Men were based in Australia. Yeah, Australia is very real. From Sustaining Nimbus with the $5, anywhere you can't visit for $500, meal included, doesn't exist. Just take the Blitz. True. True. Yeah, you gotta be able to go there for $500 or less. Otherwise, it's just not real. From Ryder with the $1, thanks, bud. I appreciate that. From Skeet Sayer with the 2 Canuck bucks, not even galaxies are flat. Well, some of them are kind of flat, but from Just Some Guy with the $2, people bought tickets to Fire Festival, so... From Skeet Sayer with the 2 Canuck bucks, if the Earth is flat, why is every other heavenly body a sphere? Well, they think that they're just lights in the sky. From Christopher with the £2, how dare you meet me at my own level and still win? Look, that's just how we roll here. From Ryder with the $5, you just blew my mind on how skilled you are at blowing minds. Oh, I should have used the sound effects more, but I still need to get into that habit. From Alexander with the $10, if the Earth were flat, we wouldn't need a ton of different projections to represent it. Look up the mnemonic projection. It's pretty neat. Yeah, I went down a rabbit hole a while ago of looking at all of the different projections, and some of them are so fun. All right, shall we bring up our next guest? I think that we shall. Techno Viking is a name that I haven't heard in a long time. Let me just double check and make sure that there's nobody in particular I want to bring up. Let's talk to Techno Viking. Techno Viking, can you hear me all right?
Yeah, I'm on my phone. Let me turn down YouTube. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you just fine.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a delay.
There shouldn't be a delay if you're on through Discord. There's only a delay on YouTube.
So let me first start by saying you can't call that guy koala brain because he's never been to Australia.
Okay, fair. But what shape do you think the Earth is, Techno?
All right, try one more time. How about a delay now?
What shape do you think the Earth is, Techno?
So I don't think it is the dimensions that we're told with the globe Earth model.
Okay, so Techno, the delay is enormous.
Yeah, crazy.
So I'm gonna let you go. Feel free to reconnect when you fix the delay issue. I don't know how you have a delay on Discord, but somehow you managed it. Yeah, the Vine boom sound effect, criminally underused. Yeah, I should have used it more, honestly. All right, let's move on to our next guest. Let's talk to Generic Bald White Guy. Generic, how's it going?
Oh, good. Just first of all, I want to commend you on dealing with these absolutely ignorant people, and your
Generic,
patience
what
is
shape do you think the Earth is?
masterclass. Oh, before I get into that.
Nope, not before you get into that. Answer the question.
Oh, okay. I have a question.
No.
Okay, the Earth is round. It's a globe. But I have
All
a
right,
question.
then I gotta let you go.
Okay.
Sorry. There's plenty of people waiting that are opposition. Let's talk to OKG. I know that people want to come up and ask questions. You can ask questions in the Discord. You can ask questions via Super Chat. You can ask questions in the chat on Ask a Physicist days. It's not the time or place. OKG, how's it going?
Hey, how's it going, man? Good, and you?
I'm doing all right. OKG, what shape do you think the Earth is?
Oh, man, to be honest with you, I was a glober for the longest time. But now with everything coming out, with all these Epstein files and everything else, I really don't know what it is anymore. I'm trying to lean that say it's...
What do the Epstein files have to do with the shape of the Earth?
Well, I mean, you know about Robert Maxwell, right?
No, I have no idea who that is.
So Robert Maxwell, he basically...
Oh, wait, that was Ghislaine Maxwell's dad, right?
Correct.
Yeah. And he was a publisher of some kind.
Yeah, so he basically influenced what we learned in science, math, all that stuff. And it got me to think, if they could lie about something like that, what's to mean they couldn't lie about the Earth being flat, right? Or let's say like they made up the stupid conspiracy. I don't know. I'm just in a weird time. I don't know what's what anymore. I think it's a fun theory, but me, myself, personally, like, I love space. I mean, I think it's interesting that...
Well, then you can't be a flat earther, because if you're a flat earther, then space is fake.
That is true. They do think space is fake, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Honestly, me personally, I think whatever they're teaching us or showing us, I don't think it's true. I think they're holding something, and I don't know for what, why they would have to lie about the Earth.
So just go look at who wrote the textbooks, and most of them are just going to be scientists, right?
Yeah, no, exactly. But
so like you have no reason to think that like they're lying to you, right?
Yeah, no, but that's what I'm saying. He influenced those scientists.
He died like 35 years ago. You can go find textbooks that are newer.
Yeah, exactly, but he still owned McGraw-Hill textbooks.
Not all textbooks are McGraw-Hill. Also,
yeah, no,
can you indicate to me? So look, is there like any example that you can demonstrate of him like of Robert Maxwell providing or putting or influencing people to put fake things into textbooks?
All the textbooks, you could go look it up.
Yeah, like what's the evidence that like he influenced people to put fake things in textbooks?
He was an Israeli secret agent.
Okay, what does that have to do with him putting fake things in textbooks? Also, I'm not sure if it's clear that he actually worked for the Israeli government.
He did.
I mean, he definitely supported Israel, I guess, but it's not clear that he was a secret agent.
No, he was a Mossad agent.
He's suspected of having ties to multiple intelligence agencies, including the KGB, British MI6, and the Israeli Mossad. But I'm not seeing like any evidence that he actually was. And furthermore, suppose that he was, what does that have to do with him influencing people to put fake things in textbooks?
Dude, to control the masses. Why else?
No. What's the evidence that this happened?
It did happen.
What's the evidence?
He influenced the scientists.
What's the evidence that he influenced? What's the evidence that he influenced the textbooks so that they would put fake stuff in it? What's the evidence of that?
Go look it up. You can literally Google it up.
Look, if you came up here claiming that this is true, you should be able to provide me at least one piece of evidence, right?
Yeah, of course.
One piece of specific evidence. That'd be great.
You Google it.
I'm not going to Google it for you. This is your claim.
So wait, why won't
if you don't even know a single piece of your own evidence, like why would I believe you?
So this is fake evidence?
Look, I don't know if it's fake or real. You're just not giving me anything. You're just telling me to Google it. I'm not going to Google it for you. Tell me what the evidence is.
You could literally go look it up yourself.
Just tell me what the evidence is.
Bro, he owned McGraw-Hill.
Yeah, what's the evidence that he encouraged fake stuff to be put in it?
To control the masses, dude.
What? No, you're telling me what the motivation was. I want the evidence that it happened.
It did happen. You can go look it up.
What's the evidence?
Dude, there's a bunch of files you could literally go look up.
What is the
DOJ
evidence
website.
that he encouraged fake stuff to be put in textbooks?
It's literally in the Epstein files.
It's literally in the Epstein files? Okay, what's the Epstein file publication number? So then I can go look at it. I can just go pull it up.
I don't know. Just go look up Robert Maxwell. I don't know the actual number.
So have you looked at it yourself?
Yes, you can go look up that file yourself.
Okay, what's the
Type in
specific
Robert
file?
Maxwell.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
don't
yeah.
just type in Robert Maxwell.
Mm-hmm. Going to the Epstein library.
Correct. Type in Robert Maxwell, and
Robert
everything will pop up there.
Maxwell.
If they
Okay, so
haven't deleted it already.
there's going to be something about Robert Maxwell encouraging people to put fake stuff in textbooks in these documents?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm just seeing Robert Maxwell listed as like father of Ghislaine Maxwell, you know, Kevin and Ian Maxwell, sons of Robert Maxwell. So can you give me something, because like there's 446 times that he appears in the files. Here's an example of a newspaper article detailing him misappropriating funds for his companies. So yeah, he probably did some fraud. I agree with that. Here is this is just another reference to him that just talks about searches. Here's one about misappropriating funds. Here's something saying there was a database search for Robert Maxwell and nothing derogatory was reported. Here's something saying no research was conducted on Robert Maxwell. So is there a specific one? Because I don't think that there is.
There is. You just have to
Okay,
look
so
it
then
up.
where is it?
Hold on, let me go look.
Because
this up,
I just
I'm not-
looked, and I'm not seeing what you're saying that I should see, so...
Okay, type in Robert Maxwell.
I did.
Okay, now look up the scientists that he influenced for these textbooks at McGraw-Hill. Okay, because it was science,
Am I looking this
it was
up
math.
in the Epstein files, or is this not in the Epstein files anymore? Are we changing the
No, it's in the
venue?
Epstein files.
Okay, so so who should I look up? Robert Maxwell, and then
now
what
look
else?
up McGraw-Hill.
Okay, McGraw-Hill. McGraw-Hill, did I spell it wrong? One sec. Oh, is there no dash? There might not be a dash.
I don't believe so.
McGraw-Hill doesn't appear, McGraw-Hill, so I'll just show you what I'm looking at. Here's what I typed in. Robert Maxwell McGraw-Hill, no results found.
Oh shit, no fucking way. Okay, now just
So wait a
delete-
minute, hold on. Why did you lie to me about these being in the Epstein files?
Oh my, I'm not lying to you, bro. You know.
So you
they've
just
actively-
so you were
No,
just
no,
wrong?
hold on.
Because you made the claim
No.
that they're in the Epstein files, man.
They are, dude. You know they've actively.
Oh, but
been
apparently
deleting
not.
files
It
and
says
fixing
no
it, right?
results found. In fact, even if I like like I can maybe I can type in Robert Maxwell and McGraw rather than McGraw-Hill. No results found. If I look up Robert Maxwell Hill, no results found.
Okay.
So where's the evidence in the Epstein files?
So clearly they erased it, right? Now Google it.
Oh, they
Go to
erased
Google.
it. The Epstein files erased it.
You know
Clearly.
they've actively been erasing stuff, right?
Oh, okay. So why did you tell me to search the Epstein files then? Also, where's
I
the
don't know.
evidence
It-
that
it
they've been
should- it
where's the
should
evidence
be
that they
on
were
there.
erasing this stuff? The stuff that was already out?
They've actively been erasing. You could literally go.
I know
look it
I know
up.
it happened
It's in
once
the
where
news.
they removed one file
No,
and then
it
they put it
wasn't-
back a few weeks later.
It wasn't a file. They've actively been removing files.
Oh, okay, so it's
They've
not in the
actively
Epstein
deleting
file. I don't know
pictures.
why you would have to lie to me and tell me that it was.
No, it was in the Epstein files.
Apparently, when was it in the Epstein files?
Dude, when they dropped, this thing has been going on for months.
So
They've
I should be
active-
able to go look at the Internet Archives and find it, you know, in the older Internet Archives, right?
Yeah, correct.
Okay, let me look into the Internet Archives.
Perfect.
Do you have a date in mind?
Try what this would have been. Try early January. You know,
Okay, let's look at
before-
January 1. Come on, let me... I hate when this website doesn't work. I'm going to try January 2. Powered and protected by... I know. I know it's powered and protected by stuff. It doesn't like it. Let's go find another archive of Epstein files. I'm sure that there's plenty. We want a private archive, right? So then it doesn't get deleted. Here we go, epsteindocs.github.io. Let's search documents. We're going to search for, how about we search for Robert Maxwell, and we will search for McGraw-Hill. Oh no! This is a private archive, by the way. Zero found. Zero found.
Gee, and who owns this website?
It's privately owned.
That's convenient, isn't it?
Yeah. It's owned by
Very
not the
convenient.
government. That's what you were asking. Like that way then the government can't delete it, right?
Okay, but you realize it's not just the government, right?
Oh, who else is in on it? Is it big textbook?
No, we know who it is.
Who is
we
it?
Know who it
Tell me.
is. Can I say it like without being like a dick? Like I won't. I don't you know. I don't know
It depends
what time
it depends
we're
on
in.
who it is, I guess.
It's the Jews, bro.
It's the Jews. Now, question.
Yes, sir.
I've never tasted it before, but how does Hitler's asshole taste? Is it like
There it
tasty
is.
or?
There it is. Actually, he was founded by the Jews. They were playing both sides. That's why they let him escape.
Oh,
And they
okay. So
started
Hitler's
killing.
asshole tastes good then.
Oh, it tastes amazing, my friend. With a little side of caviar in it. Perfect.
Oh, I'm absolutely putting that at the beginning of the YouTube video that this is going in. That's crazy.
Clip it.
Oh, it's 100% going to be clipped. So do you want to tell me any of the other anti-Semitic conspiracy theories that you believe, or like, you know, we could just end it there?
Anti-Semitic.
Yes, thinking that the Jews are behind all of the conspiracy theories, but that's not anti-Semitic, right? Definitely not me. I don't hate the Jews. I just believe in literally the oldest conspiracy theory that has ever existed.
It's the oldest one.
It is. It actually is.
Yeah. I mean, holy shit, you're right. It would be the oldest one.
Yeah, and you still believe it. That's crazy. You've been
I know,
debunked
it's
for
the-
2,000 years and you still believe this shit? Man, you
I know,
must be
it's the big
stupid.
It's the big 2026 and I still believe it, huh?
I know.
weird.
It's embarrassing for you.
After everything that's come out, it's so weird, huh?
It really is.
So why do you believe...
does it feel good to know that like everybody who doesn't believe what you believe is probably 2 orders of magnitude smarter than you?
I don't know. I feel like everybody's on the same frequency nowadays.
Oh, I mean, not really.
No, there's a major. People are starting to wake up. It's really scary.
I mean, like, there are a bunch of crazy people and a bunch of like complete idiots like yourself who are waking up and like literally like hurting people. So that is scary that there are people like you who are so smooth-brained that you make a koala jealous, and you're so violent that you make, I don't know, literally, you know, we could say like the IDF jealous, but you seem to think.
I'm violent.
Yeah, people like you are violent. Yeah, so people like you who are so smooth-brained that you make a koala jealous, and so violent that you make the IDF jealous. It is scary that you guys are
ethnically cleansing Gaza.
It does mean that you guys are definitely scaring people. Absolutely, I agree.
So the genocide in Gaza, you would say
it's bad.
Okay, right? And who's on the wrong side? Who's on the bad side?
Israel.
Israel's on the bad side?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. All right. So why would I be the evil one just because?
Because not only are you evil, you're stupid too.
Okay, elaborate.
Because you think that Jews control everything and are responsible for literally every single conspiracy that you can think of. And that's not only evil, that's not only stupid, it's evil because it's led, that is literally one of the kinds of things that led to the creation of a Jewish state in the first place. It is people like you that are at fault for why Jews in Europe in the late 1800s and early 1900s felt the need to construct a Jewish state, because they were being abused, harassed, and killed by people like you. So do yourself a favor and know what? I'm not going to tell you. I'm not going to tell you to off yourself on this live. Have a good one. Ah, I feel so much better. No, I said I'm not going to tell him to off himself. I didn't say that. That would be rude and uncalled for. I would never do such a thing. But if he looks up to Hitler, I don't know, if his role model did something. That's going straight on the YouTubes, though. I'm gonna have to rearrange my entire schedule. I have stuff scheduled out like a few weeks in advance. That might have to go on tomorrow. What a wild day. All right, let's read some super chats. From Adam Hurst with the $20. You're the man, Blitz. Well, I appreciate that. I appreciate you, Adam Hurst. From Grandma's, no. Thank you for the $5 regardless. It's always, you can never see Antarctica. Never, you can go see Uncle Arctico. Yeah, right? Why not the Uncle Arcticos? What did they ever do? From Ken with the $20, if the Earth was flat, there'd be an amusement park about it? Wait a minute. I got the inflection wrong. If the Earth was flat, there'd be an amusement park about it. I fully believe that because the logistics and hiding it is impossible, so why not make money from it? Also, I hope you're doing well. I'm doing okay. No one's giving you that money, those are lies? If you think so, that's fine with me. From the Red Pill Neo with the $2, explain court case 2019 MV 1104. Okay, let's go pull it up. I think this is the Zen Garcia case, right? Is this the, oh, it's 1104. Is this Zen Garcia? Oh no, this is Mark Janus versus American Federation of State, County, and Municipal Employees. This is not... maybe I pulled up the wrong one. Oh yeah, no, this is Thompson versus Garcia. This is Zen Garcia, the Zen Garcia case. So, just so you guys know, there was a court case that involved the flat Earth, which was crazy. There's a guy named Zen Garcia, or at least that's his, you know, his pseudonym or whatever. He offered a prize, some amount of prize money for proof of Earth's curvature, stipulating that the evidence must be provided through specific physical and repeatable real-world experiments. A guy named William Thompson claimed that he met the criteria and he demanded the prize money. Thompson submitted computer software models that prove curvature. And because a computer software model did not meet the stipulations of the contest, or of the contest that Zen Garcia was running, namely that it wasn't specific physical and repeatable real world experiments, it was a computer model, the court ruled that Zen Garcia didn't have to pay William Thompson. Now that doesn't mean that they ruled that the Earth was flat. It means that William Thompson's evidence that he provided was not the kind of evidence that the contest required. So Zen Garcia required very specific kinds of evidence, and William Thompson just didn't provide that. He didn't match what it said in the contract. So Zen Garcia didn't have to pay out. That's all. But no, it did not rule that the Earth was flat. It was based on contract law. From Tim Davidson with the $5, I don't like the term brainwashing machine minus stupid, or minus machine stupid. Wait. Oh, I prefer brain iron, just getting rid of those wrinkles. That's funny. That's really funny. From Skeet Sayer with the 5 Canuck bucks, Galileo proved the world is around 400 plus years ago. The church put him in purgatory for over a decade. No, he proved that the Earth goes around the sun 400 plus years ago. Or around 400 years ago. They already knew the Earth was a sphere. From Skeet with the 2 Canuck bucks, does anyone in US read anything other than Archie? No. From Skeet Sayer with the 5 Canuck bucks, Robert Maxwell was a Mossad agent, but McGraw-Hill would have been sued for fake information. I'm not convinced that he was a Mossad agent, but like if somebody wants to present that evidence, like by all means, I guess, just, you know, this is probably not the place for it. From Skeet Sayer with the 2 Canuck bucks, Peter Thiel and Elon Musk are both guilty. Well, guilty of something, definitely. From Gretchen with the $2, okay, should join Caleb on the Nazi list and blocked. Yes, he should. What was his name? Oh, I have it here. Actually, it'll be, yeah, his name is OKG. Yep, he's no longer welcome on this stream. By the way, there are a few cash apps that I got, so I should probably read these out really quick. From From Grimlock, hydration is important and should be done often. That's a fair point, so I'm going to do that. Grimlock says, for cause my donations are lies, I guess. Ah, yes. Yeah, so this is Cash App. Let me cover your name. Says there's the money's there. The donations are lies. And from Shay with the $20 for fake donation from... I appreciate it. Thank you, Shay. From Skeet with the $2, the Zionists are not the real Israelites. Okay, well, let's not go about not calling people like the real Jews. Like that's bordering on anti-Semitism. Let's not do that, guys. From Skeet Sayer with the $5, 5 Canuck bucks. You cannot speak about modern Israel without talking about Gaza. I mean, like, you can. It just will kind of be an incomplete conversation, right? From Skeet Sayer with the $2, Epstein was a Jew and Truman created Israel. Okay, what does that have to do with anything? It seems like we're getting close to the conspiracies, Skeet Sayer. Be careful. From Ken with the $10, no wrinkles, no lumps, no valleys, no humps, smooth brain all around. That collar is wild. That is very true. From Orion Cooper with the $2, slow claps. Yeah, I definitely should have used the...
You just blowing from stupid town?
I should have used that more during that conversation. From Skeet Sayer with the 5 Canuck bucks, because you don't like Israel does not mean you are a Hitler supporter. They are starving children right now. No, but he said that he supported Hitler. You cannot like Israel. And that doesn't make you a Nazi. He said that he was. From Solar Lion with the $7, 7 Canuck bucks, sorry. This unlocks a curious opportunity to debunk anti-Semitic conspiracy theories. I'd be interested in watching if you've studied it. I'm probably less well read on that than I am on, you know, other things. And so I'm not going to, but also I'd much rather just not give that the space because those are actually dangerous. Like, Flat Earth is not dangerous. Might you find it interesting with the $5? It's okay, Blitz. Some callers need to get lost. Yeah, he did. Yeah, that dude is going to pay my mortgage. And with our last super chat, eat some shorts with the $5. Here's some money to get your own fish gametes not coated in poo. What? What does that mean? Your own fish gametes not coated in poo? What does this mean? I mean, I'll take it, but... Oh, caviar. Okay, caviar. That's what you're doing. I'm not gonna eat caviar. But that's funny. Because that is what caviar is. All right, let us bring up, I just gotta double check something really quick. Okay, that's helpful. Let's bring up our next guest. Let's talk to Compa. Compa, how's it going?
All good.
How's it going?
I'm all good. How about you?
I'm doing okay. Compa, what shape do you think the Earth is?
Well, I know it's flat.
Okay. Why? How?
Okay, so before coming into the whatever shape the Earth is, let's make clear the previous conversation you were having with that other guy about was it Robert Maxwell?
Yeah.
So Robert,
you mean the Nazi
Robert
that I had a
Maxwell
conversation with?
Actually, well,
is this
Robert
really the
Maxwell
conversation that you want to have, or do you want to talk about the
I'm
Earth?
talking about the previous conversation, the one.
Okay,
you just
but
had.
I'd rather talk about the shape of the Earth.
Yeah,
so
well, no worries, but there's a lot of incongruities in your speech, so I want to make that
there's a lot of
clear. Is the
incongruities
way-
in my speech. Well, look, so if you don't want to
Yeah.
talk about the shape of the Earth, I can
No,
just move
I'm-
on to the next
we can
guest.
definitely talk about the shape of the
So
Earth.
then let's
like,
talk about the shape of the
all-
Earth.
I'm all in.
Okay.
Yeah, but let's
So then why do
make
you think
what
the
we
Earth
were
is flat?
previously talking about clear.
Why do you think the Earth is flat?
Can you explain why the Amazon River doesn't pull on both sides?
Why it doesn't pull on
Meanwhile,
both
the
sides?
gravity-
I don't understand the
Amazon
question. Are you
River-
saying
the Amazon
why
River
doesn't
is
are you asking why it doesn't flow in both directions?
Right, because it's
Which-
stretching for over
Uh-huh.
6,000 kilometers. That's the second largest river in the
Yeah,
world.
why would that make it
Stretches
flow
for
in
over-
two directions?
Yeah, it has to flow in two directions according
Why?
to what gravity says.
Why?
Because it stretches for over 6,000 kilometers.
How would that make it,
has to
flow in two
curve.
directions?
It has to curve at some point, but it's
Yeah.
perfectly straight.
What do you mean?
So can
The
you
Amazon is
explain
not
that?
perfectly straight.
Man, it's perfectly flat. Well, you know what I mean. There's no
Well,
curvature with that.
why should I
region.
think that it's? Why should I think that it's like flat when it follows the curvature of the
Because
Earth?
it's actually flat.
How do you
Because
know?
water levels. As simple as that, man.
Oh, because you
Explain
think that
why
water is always
it doesn't
flat.
pull in both directions.
So you think
Explain
th-
why
so?
it's
Is it
perfectly
because you
flat.
think that water? So I don't think that water is always flat.
What the frick are you talking about, man? Like, just
Have you
be
ever
honest
seen a
with
raindrop?
yourself.
Have you ever seen a raindrop? Are raindrops
No,
flat?
I've never seen a raindrop. No.
Oh, you haven't? I can show you a picture.
Well, just be honest with yourself.
Hold on, let me
If
show you a picture.
If you really want to be honest with yourself, you know the
I'm gonna show
Amazon
you a
River
picture.
is all leveled.
Well, I don't think that's true.
Now you're just denying evidence.
What evidence have you presented?
You're just denying evidence. According to what gravity says, it has to pull on both sides because it has to adjust.
But that's not what gravity
with the
says. Here,
form of the Earth.
are those water droplets flat?
Man, I'm talking about the Amazon River and you're showing me freaking raindrops. Like, what's the link?
Yeah, are they flat?
No, I want you to explain me why it doesn't pull in both directions. I want you to explain
Yeah,
me why.
so
you
gravity
Globers-
pulls towards the middle.
Just listen to me, please.
I am.
I want you to
I
explain
am.
me
I'm
why
explaining.
You
I'm explaining.
Globers will say you can't see a boat because of the Earth curvature.
Oh, that's a different question. You were
Meanwhile,
asking about the Amazon
totally
River.
possible.
I can tell you about either if you want, but it sounded like you wanted to talk about the Amazon River.
Let's come back to
So,
the Amazon River.
Yeah. So first thing, water isn't flat. Here's a good example of water not being flat, right? This
I
is
meant
water being in a
leveled.
ball shape.
I meant leveled.
Right.
Like,
So
don't take me with the-
level doesn't mean flat. The Amazon rainforest is roughly level, although it is flowing downhill. So of course it's going to not be
Perfectly
perfectly level. Level doesn't mean flat.
It has to be perfectly level, like
Level
any
doesn't mean flat.
water body.
Level
It
doesn't
has
mean
to be
flat.
Well, you know what I mean now. I'm talking about level because
So level can be curved. Level can be curved.
How will level be curved?
If it follows an equipotential for some force.
You don't have evidence of that.
Sure we do.
Because if you keep traveling,
I
on
can
the
show you
Amazon
the evidence
River,
if you want.
You will never get to adjust whatever you want to use. It might be a plane, it might be a boat. You will never get to adjust your device to the curvature because it's always flat. It's the same thing. Ask yourself
yeah,
why
so-
why a plane will never tip its nose down
Compa,
when traveling.
do you want to have a conversation, like a back and forth, or do you just want to like ramble for 20 minutes?
Okay, let me hear what you get.
So you never have to adjust because the way that you orient yourself, what up and down is relative to the center of the Earth. If the center of the Earth, like down is towards the center of the Earth, up is away from the center of the Earth. So as you're going along the curvature of the Earth, your down is adjusting. It's adjusting by itself because that's what down means. And as long as the river follows the curvature of the Earth, then you won't feel yourself curving up or curving down because you're
definitely
following the
have
curvature.
to. You definitely have to. It's just like
No, you
when
don't.
you're going down the hill. You definitely have to feel the curve. If you don't
No,
feel the
so
curve,
you're confused.
There's no curve.
You're confused.
No,
the only
that's not
time
confusion, man.
time you
We're
feel
talking
like
about
you're going
curves,
over
right?
a hill is when your distance from the center is changing.
That's what you just said. The center.
No,
So you have
but
to
so
feel
the
curve.
Amazon River, for the most part, it is slightly downhill. That's why it flows. But for the most part, the Amazon River is the same distance from the center the whole time.
That's completely false.
Okay, prove it.
So I'm just saying you have to feel that curve. You have to be able.
Why would you feel the curve if your distance from the center never changes?
You're talking about science every day because science is
I talk
based
about
on
science a lot.
hypothesis,
Yep.
right?
Well, it's based
So
off of
if you can't-
hypothesis and experimentation and analysis. Yeah.
Exactly. So you've never experimented the curve.
Oh,
You've
sure I
never
have. I
been
can. Want me
down
to show
there
you a
and
video?
actually
Want me to show you a
felt
video?
how You're going down.
Want me to show you a video of somebody doing this exactly, of showing the curve on water?
A curve on. We're talking about the Amazon River. Curving the Amazon River.
Well, I mean, this guy was measuring the curvature on a lake, but presumably that would be the same, right?
No. You have to pull it out. Okay, pull it out. Let's see.
Okay. I have it here. It's from a guy named Baron Rutledge. He is a surveyor, meaning that he's the kind of guy who measures land for a living. So the setup here, let me just explain to you the setup. So the setup is, I'll make this a little bit bigger for you too. So he's on a lake called Lake Pleasant. It's about like he's measuring the curvature over a mile. So what he does is he sets up this thing. Let me just wind back just a second. He sets up this thing, this orange thing. That's the target that he's going to be looking for. And he's going to measure the height above the surface of the water. It works out to be exactly 61 inches above the surface of the water, right? It's a little bit small. You probably can't see it, but it says 61 inches there. And he's measuring it from the surface of the water. That's the target. And then he, oh yeah, here's a zoomed in version. So you can see that it's 61 inches above the surface of the water, right? And then, here's his GPS location, by the way. And then he goes over to the other side of the lake, 1 mile away, and he uses an auto level. Now, an auto level is a surveying tool, which basically lets you calculate angles from the horizontal exactly. And so he's also going to set that this auto level is also 61 inches above the surface of the water. It's the same lake, just a mile away. So see how it's 61 inches up? So the auto level, as its name implies, is exactly level. It's the crosshairs are level with the the local downward. So, and there's his location just to prove it. And now he's going to look through the auto level, and he's going to look at that thing that is 1 mile away. Now it's a little bit blurry here. He's going to zoom in a second. I'll just skip forward to the zoom in part. Here's a zoom in. Now notice that the horizontal line, that marks perfectly level with where he is observing from. And notice that the target, this little pink thing, is below that horizontal line, which means that the water in front of him has curved down. Because somehow, even though they're both 61 inches above the water, when he looks straight towards it, it's somehow lower than 61 inches. How could that be? It's because the water's curved. Did you follow that?
Somehow, but from the last image you shown,
this one,
it looks like there is a dugout at the bottom of the whatever device he's using. It looks like there is a dugout.
Where? You mean like this brown part?
Yeah, that part. That looks like a dugout.
That's the shore.
It looks like a dugout. That's not.
That's
flat.
the shore.
That's not same level.
He measured
it's not the same level as right.
He measured
there.
the distance.
That's not the same level.
He measured the distance from the surface of the water. It's measured from the surface of the water, right? What you're seeing is just the shore.
Exactly. So there is a difference.
No, they're the same height. They're both 61 inches above.
This depth and the other depth. Those are two
but,
different depths.
But they're both 61 inches above the surface of the water.
No.
He shows you that they're both 61 inches above the surface of the water.
Excuse me, but your data is already false because you're
but they're both above.
points
They're both the same
depths.
distance. It's not above the ground. Wait, you're not understanding. Wait, are you not understanding? He's not measuring to the bottom of the water. He's measuring to the surface of the water.
Yeah, exactly.
So the surface of the water, if Earth is flat, the surface of the water should be the same. It should be level across the whole thing, right?
Well,
he's measuring distance above the surface of the water.
I can literally see the next point, like the other point from which he's measuring is a dugout.
They're both measured from the surface of the water. That's the surface of the water that you're seeing.
It's not the same depth. Okay,
wait a minute. So hold on. I'm sorry. I just got to clarify.
Come back to the next point.
I just got to clarify. Hold on. I got to clarify. Do you agree that they're both 61 inches above the water?
Can you show that next image, the next point from
Wait, do you agree that they're both 61 inches above the water? See how it's...
with that.
Okay, why not? You can see it here. He's making the measurements above the surface of the water, right?
Okay, and how about the next
yeah, and then I can so that one's 61 inches above the surface of the water, and then we'll go over to the other one. Here, that's the surface of the... Notice that it's not in the water, it's above the surface of the water. And then it's 61 inches up to the top. So it's 61 inches in both cases. It's not in the water. It's on the surface of the water. So they're both 61 inches above the surface of the water. So they should both be at the same height. if the Earth is flat. So what's going on?
That's what I just said. Okay, just keep running the video.
Mm-hmm. We can skip forward to that part that you don't like.
No, there's no point of skipping forward. If you want us to get that stuff,
this is the thing that you're complaining about, right?
Video.
I mean, you can go watch it on your own time. Like after this part, he just shows his GPS. Fine. He's standing in the water. And then he goes and he looks through it. Obviously, he's not looking through it with his eye. He's looking through it with a camera. And then he's going to zoom in and show us. Because it's kind of hard to see at this distance. And there's the picture, zoomed in. And it's above, this horizontal line is above the target, which is this pink thing. They're both on the surface of the water. They're both 61 inches up. How can you explain this?
Yeah, it's just the same. I'm just actually looking at what you're showing here, and it's just the same as I was talking about in my previous mentions. So, you Globers, you can't explain why you can't feel that curvature across a body of water, across a large body of water, because that's practically it's not even up to 20 miles.
This is curvature measured over a single mile.
Exactly.
Yeah. So what do you have to say to it? Why can't you? Okay, do you have an explanation for why we're measuring curvature over a mile?
Man, I wasn't there, so I can't confirm what you're showing.
You can watch the video. We just watched it together. We just. Oh, okay. So it's all fake. Got it.
It can be all. I didn't say it's all fake. No,
is that the only explanation you have?
Transform my words. I said it can be set up.
Okay, so if it's not fake,
when NASA shows you
then
CGI,
how does it work?
Just like when NASA shows you 100% of CGI all the time.
So if it's not set up, how does it work? If it's not fake, how does it work?
That's what I'm saying. It can't be all set up, so I can confirm.
You saw the measurements.
The experiment by myself.
You saw the measurements, didn't you?
Well, I seen the measurements. Just like you.
Yeah, just don't trust your lying eyes. Right.
Just like you, when you go across the river, you don't feel the curve.
You wouldn't feel the curve.
Yeah.
If the Earth is a globe, you don't feel the curve.
I don't go as low as that. You're just trying to make me look dumb, but I know what I'm
Well, at the moment, you are looking dumb because you're just not trusting your lying eyes at this point.
And you stupid Globers, that's just you. But people who actually know the facts know that I'm telling the truth. So
people know that you're telling the truth. Really? I think that even flat earthers would probably disown you on this point.
I have not experimented the curvature, so I'm not gonna say there is a curvature.
Okay. Have you experimented the flat Earth?
Well.
Have you experimented the flat Earth?
Daily. That's daily, man.
Oh, what are the experiments that you do? What experiments do you do?
Why are you able to see ships across thousands and thousands of miles?
Oh, you can? Wait, where can you see ships across thousands of miles? And you do this daily?
Man, you just have to use a freaking telescope or whatever.
Wait a minute, so you do this daily?
High projection binoculars.
Wait, you do this daily? You go out and view ships from thousands of miles away daily? That's crazy.
Yeah,
Tell me about this. What instruments do you use?
It's like the world we're living in.
What instruments do you use?
The world we're living in.
What instruments do you use?
It's crazy as science. You know the fact about science?
What?
You scientists will say,
hey, so you told me that you did this yourself, right, Compa? Hey, Compa.
Give us one free miracle.
Hey, Compa, I'm sorry, I got to mute you because you're not answering my question. Compa, you said you did this yourself, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so you saw the ships from thousands of miles away, right?
Exactly. And
okay,
and
so
what
instruments do you use to do it yourself?
A telescope.
What kind of telescope is it?
High projection binoculars.
So when you do it daily, because you said that you do this daily.
That on Amazon.
No, I'm asking you. Look, maybe you're not understanding, Compa. I'm asking you personally, which instrument do you use when you do this daily?
Man, I'm not here for promotion of my material.
I just want to know. I mean, look, it's not a promotional thing. We don't have to promote it. I just want you to tell me what instrument you use. Sounds like this kind of sounds like
question, right? I'm trying to answer.
It sounds like you're kind of lying to me.
In front of me. This is
Well, it
all
sounds like you're
comic
lying
for
to
you, 'cause
me.
You don't have facts.
Are you
'cause
lying
you're
to
trying
me?
to make a joke.
Can you tell me the name of the
So-
telescope or the name of the binoculars that you
Well,
use?
I'm just gonna answer you. I'm just gonna answer you as you answer to you chat every day. So I have a private Telegram. I have a private DM. So if you want to know
Oh, you
more
want to
about
promote
this stuff,
yourself?
just
No,
come to
no,
me.
no.
I'm not trying to sell myself, bro. I'm just saying.
Just
the
tell me the
truth.
name of the telescope that
can
you
come
use.
to
That'd be
me
great.
And I'll tell you what
Just
material.
tell me the name of the telescope. It should be pretty easy.
You don't like
No,
answering to
no, I
funny,
refuse.
questions, right?
Amazing.
Like,
Yeah,
you,
exactly.
why
You're
not just tell
trying to
me?
make fun of me? Okay.
Well, I mean,
let's
if
get to
you're
some
gonna
other point.
dodge the questions like this, yeah, I'm gonna make fun of you.
I didn't dodge the question.
Yeah, you literally did. You refused to answer it.
Hey, Dr. Blitz, I'm not the one supposed to tell you what kind of telescope to use.
I asked you it.
A high resolution. Or
I
for
asked you which
long-distance
telescope
view.
you used because you
Well,
said
just
you
pick
did
up
this
from any
daily.
telescope. Hey,
I don't want.
you
I
are
don't
the
care about any
physicist,
telescope.
right?
I want to know which one you
Oh,
used
no way.
specifically.
Oh, you haven't heard about any telescope, right?
I
wanna
want you
play
to
that
tell me
freaking game.
specifically which one you use.
Just DM me and I'll give you the devices and I'll give you the
Quit
material.
running.
I don't want to expose that
Stop
here. I
dodging
have personal
and
reasons
answer
for
the
that.
question.
I have personal reasons.
Personal
for that.
reasons for why you won't tell us the why you
Hey,
won't tell us.
you
Okay,
don't
can you tell us what the aperture is for your telescope? Because if you don't want to tell us the make and model, that's okay.
You don't expose.
What's the aperture?
Detailed material for your research on here, and I'm not gonna do
what's
that.
the aperture? What's the aperture that you use for your telescope? You don't
I'm
even
not
have to
gonna
tell us
do
the make
that.
and model.
You know about performance
Bro is
telescopes.
bro
You
is
know
dodging so hard.
you are
Like this
able
is
to see over
embarrassingly
thousands of
bad.
miles.
You got
know
caught
that.
in a lie, and now you're running so fast.
Oh my god. Okay.
Emotional damage.
So why don't you just admit that you lied,
right,
that you've never
emotional
done this
damage.
experiment, you don't own a telescope or
I just
binoculars,
told
you've never
you,
looked at
use
distant
scientists.
ships, and then we can
That's-
just move on. How about that?
That's that yeah, I've heard that. You
Okay,
know what
yeah.
is
So
the
what's
best-
so just go ahead and admit
you
it,
know
and we
what
can
is
move
the
on.
best proverb of scientists? Give us one free miracle and we'll explain the rest. Hey,
Oh,
right?
oh,
Give
okay.
us one
Just
free
blowing from
miracle
stupid down.
and we'll explain the rest.
Yeah, so that's a cool
what
pivot.
You guys do all the time.
That's a cool pivot.
guys
Do you
base-
want to just name
you
the
guys base
telescope, or
science upon
maybe
assumptions.
even just tell me
You
the
guys-
aperture? Maybe even tell me the kind of telescope that it is. Like, is it a Dobsonian? What's the aperture? The focal length? These are all things that you could tell me with that wouldn't dox you. Just tell me. If you just told me, I would admit that you were right. But you won't. Because you, my friend, are a king of dodging.
So, as I just told you, for personal reasons, I'm not gonna expose the devices and material I use for my studies. If you want to know more about that, you can send me a DM.
Nobody wants
That's
to know
what
more
you
about
do all
that.
the time.
If you're gonna lie to me, I'm not gonna keep you up. Sorry, bud. It is funny though. That's rough. That's rough, man. Somebody named Globe Crusher has been in the guest box, or has been saying, I'm scared of him, but he's not even in the guest box. So like, I don't know who, I don't even know who you are, bud. Let's read some super chats. From Sydney Raptor with the $2 Australian. Australia is fake, so is our money. It is indeed. It is fake. From Sean James with the $2. FLERFS whenever proven wrong. Exactly, right? Don't they say that all the time, don't they? From Solar Lion with the 14 Canuck bucks. I've never been a flat earther, and I come from a landlocked area for hundreds of kilometers. I went to the ocean last week and went deep sea fishing. We went around 15 kilometers offshore. It only confirmed. It only confirmed what? What did it confirm? I hope it confirmed something, but it only confirmed. From Vanilla Milk Bread with the $5. Maybe the real telescope was the friends we made along the way. True, we did. Yeah, so Globe Crusher is just not in the guest box. In fact, I'll just send him in an invite. I'll just invite him directly. Let's see if he comes up. I have sent him an invite. Oh, there he is. I thought I was too scared to invite you.
When are we gonna do this debate, Blitz? Me, you, 1 versus 1.
Isn't this 1 versus 1 right now? And wait a minute, weren't you the guy that came onto my live stream and kept begging for a W, and then when you got one, you're like, oh, I'm getting a phone call, and then you went, hold on. So Globe Crusher, weren't you the guy who came onto my live stream?
You know I've already crushed you twice.
So Globe Crusher, weren't you the guy that came onto my live stream, begged for a W, and when I said, you know what, you're right, I misspoke about one tiny thing, and then you said, oh, can I get a W because you misspoke? I said, yeah, you can have a W for that. And then you said, that, oh, I'm sorry, I'm getting a phone call from my daughter, and then literally 30 seconds later, you were in another live stream bragging about how you got a W from me. Was that you? Oh, he left. Oh, what a coward. What a poor guy, he ran. That was him. Yeah, and in fact, I have a video of this. I have video evidence that this happened. And I can probably go find the... I posted it on my YouTube. Let me go pull it up really quick, just so then we can, just so we can watch it again. Let's just you know, let's just go see if I'm lying about him running. When was this? I think it was like a few months ago, wasn't it? Oh, wait a minute. No. Oh, I should just go to the... We'll find it. Flat Earther admits he will never change his mind. Oh yeah, here we go. Flat Earther begs for win, then runs. It's this guy. Here we go. Let's just listen, shall we? I don't know why YouTube's not working. So why is it that... Here we go. They're like many miles away, right? Like we can just measure. They're like
miles of being able to see the coastline. I mean,
miles away.
1,000 feet. I wouldn't blitz.
We can punch into how big it would be, but like this is referring to Antarctica.
The McGrew, Chile.
Whole thing. Here we go. Yeah, you can get the W on that. I was absolutely wrong about that. So let's plot the trajectory again, and we'll see where it actually takes you. Because you're right. I thought it was on the other side. Okay, so here's Sydney to Australia. So the Ross Wait, we don't think that
Oh,
this isn't Globe Crusher? Oh, you're right. I'm sorry. They all sound the same. You're right. That was Dr. Flat Truth. Why didn't you just say that wasn't you? Globe Crusher, why didn't you just say that wasn't you? I mean, like, you're right. They do all sound the same. But I didn't drop you. You ran. I will invite you back up. You have been invited back up. I didn't drop you. I don't know why you're lying to everybody. So that wasn't you.
You fucking dropped me, you clown.
No, I didn't.
So when are we going to set up a formal debate?
Why should I debate you? Like in some formal setting? Well, no,
I've
I mean, like...
I've crushed you twice and you grift, right? You admitted being paid to be here.
I don't even know who you are.
So answer the question.
Wait, I don't even know who you are. So, like, why should I debate you?
You know who I am.
Apparently not. I thought you were Dr. Flat Truth.
I got video of you admitting it, right?
Wait, so who are you?
When are
like,
we going to set up a formal
before?
debate? If you don't know me, you can beat me, right? With science?
Well, why would I set up a formal debate with somebody who I've never heard of?
So you're scared.
No, it just feels like a waste of time. Like, you could come up and debate me here if you want. If you want, you can come up and debate me here. That's totally fine. But like, I don't know who you are, so I'm not going to set up a formal debate with nobody. This is a one-on-one.
A one-on-one. Whether that's set up at formal.
This is a one-on-one right now.
Formal. No, you're the host. That's not a formal debate.
Oh,
Neutral
okay. So
platform, me and you, only
Globe
me
Crusher.
and you.
Globe Crusher, I hate to tell you this.
Are you terrified or not?
I hate to tell you this, but I'm not gonna give you my clout.
Or not, Blitz? Are you
I'm not gonna give you my clout. What? So Globe Crusher, look, I'll make you a deal.
Clout, bro.
I'll make you a deal.
You don't have any clout. I'm the top science guy
if you can go get If you can
told
go get
me you were masculine. Your
100,
was
if you can go
masculine.
get
You look like a little
100,000
long-haired
followers,
bitch.
sorry, I gotta mute you. If you can go get 100,000 followers
Are
on
you
TikTok
scared?
or on, you know,
Are
some
you
other
scared, bro?
place.
Are
Oh, I
you
have to mute you
scared?
again.
I'm the top.
So if you can go get 100,000 followers, so I know you're not just begging for clout, I have to mute you again.
One, right?
If you can just go get some followers, so I know you're not begging for clout, then we can set something up, okay? Is that fair? Until then, it's just pretty clear. It's just pretty clear that you're just begging for clout, and I'm not going to give it to you.
1 verse 1, terrified little bitch.
Oh, that's that's so rude.
Are you scared or not?
This poor guy. Oh.
Are you scared, princess? I've already crushed you twice,
so
right?
sad.
Oh, there's this masculine chin. Do you draw on the little beard spots?
Oh, okay.
You probably don't
I mean,
even
like,
shave.
look,
You're
like
a feminine
if you
little
wanna actually have a
bitch.
conversation,
Are you
we can
afraid
have a
of
debate.
science or
That's
not?
totally fine. But it doesn't sound like you actually want to have a debate. It sounds like you want clout.
kid.
Otherwise, you would have a conversation here.
Child, are you afraid I don't
Oh, wait a
need
minute.
your
Did you
clout?
get? Did you? You couldn't even win. You couldn't even win the 2024 top left.
Are you
Did you
afraid?
fail? Did you fail to win the 2024 top left? Okay, this seems like a waste of time. So look, Globe Crusher, if you ever want to come up and have a conversation on the live stream, you know that I only mute people when they don't let me talk, when they don't, like, if you can remember not to interrupt me regularly, you won't get muted. And so long as you stay cordial, you won't get kicked either. So if you want to have a conversation and come up, you can, absolutely. Not today, because it's 9 minutes till I end the live stream, but you can come up next time I do a Flat Earth live stream. Absolutely, you're welcome to come up and we can have that conversation. But what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to set up a formal debate with somebody who I've never heard of and somebody who has no influence, because then it's pretty clear that you're just begging for clout, right? If you weren't begging for clout, if you wanted to just have a normal conversation with somebody and talk about science, you would just come up onto live stream. But you don't want to. That's not what you want. You want clout from me. You want to get to brag to all of your friends. I got to debate Blitz in this big time formal debate, because of course that's what you want, because you understand that I'm more important than you. I will always be more important than you. People will always care about what I have to say more than they will care about what you have to say. And so by attaching yourself to me, you get to feel a little bit better. But until you can demonstrate that people care about what you have to say, it's just not worth my time to set up a formal debate with you. I'm sorry. All right, let's read some super chats. From Orion Cooper with the $2. Globe Crusher equals Fred equals MC Toon top left contender. I don't remember who Fred is, but I know the name Fred. What was his old account name? Did he have a different account that I may have known? Because I recall the name Fred. I don't know if I've ever spoken with him. From Solar Lion with the 7 Canuck bucks. Sorry, I ran out of characters. My deep sea trip only confirmed globe trip. Ah, yeah, that sounds about right. From Doxon Greenlight with the $2, the 2024 top left third place candidate himself used to be Cyberknight 2012. It doesn't ring a bell. It's not Science with Freddy. Science with Freddy is he's in the guest box right now. So. From Shane Strife with the $2, debate me, Blitz! He wants it so hard. And from Gretchen with the $5, oh yeah, Globe Crusher is that one that Tiffany used to send super chats to get you to, tell Globe Crusher to unblock her. Oh, is that the same guy? Is the one that Tiffany used to send super chats to you? Oh, okay, Globe Crusher, I hope you unblocked Tiffany. That would be good of you. But yeah, it just seems like that you probably don't have any, like, there's not really a good reason. Look, and you have to understand the optics here. If I don't think that you're somebody worth taking seriously, and nobody else thinks that you're somebody worth taking seriously, then why would I give you a platform that would make people take you seriously? It just seems incorrect, right? Now, if you were a big name that people were already taking seriously, especially flat earthers, then I might set up a debate with you. But you're not. I don't even know who you are. I don't think anybody really knows who you are. Look, actually, this is a good point. Somebody suggested pay Blitz for debate. If you want, if you want my clout, you can pay for it. We can set up a deal where you can pay me, and then we can set up a debate, okay? And from Grimmy with the $5, I'm starting to think the people who think people lie about the science are the people who are willing to lie to try and convince others of their point. That does happen, yeah. It does happen a lot. Are there any big name flat earthers? There are people who are more well known, like they have big YouTube channels. Like Eric Dubé is pretty well known. So there's a few people who, you know, have some degree of clout amongst the flat earthers, of course. Nobody takes them seriously in the real world, but, you know. Anyway, y'all, it is that time. You know what time it is? It's almost noon. So what that means, for those of you who don't, oh, actually, hold on, I don't want to miss any. Epi sent $15 for All Hail the Lava Champ. I appreciate that. All hail the Lava Champ, indeed. Thank you for the $15, Epi. That was through Buy Me a Coffee. So, just to make sure I didn't miss any Cash Apps, I didn't. So that is the end of the live stream for today. I will be live again tomorrow for Ask a Physicist. It'll be live around the same time, although I have a call at 8 a.m. So like a work call at 8 a.m. So I might be a little bit late. So if you don't miss me, if you don't see me at 9 a.m. at the normal time, then I will probably be on a little bit later. In the meantime, make sure to go join the Discord server. If you're 18 years or older, go to discord.gg/drblitz. It's a cool place to be. Lots of well-informed people who have interesting thoughts and are probably like-minded. So consider it. And consider becoming a YouTube member. It's like $4 or $5 a month, and it's a good way to support me. So in the meantime, until tomorrow, take care, everybody.